is where MAGA comes to talk. And welcome, everyone. We've got a lot to cover today. No doubt about it. We have a whole bunch to cover. Let me fix the camera angle. Bear with me. There we go. There we go. Keep it about right there. Okay. All right, now I gotta call Mike. Fill him in on what's going on. Hey, what's up? Okay, yeah. Well, I got kind of a strange thing today. I'm going to be on. Don't worry. But I have a delivery coming today, and they're supposed to be delivering it between 7 and 11 here where I'm at. They may not come till after the show, but they may come at 7. So I'm assuming I'm going to get a text message when they're nearby. So we might have to go to like a best of at some point, but we may not have to. So you got to be ready for that. So I'll text you when I hear from them. Hopefully they just won't show up because they were texting me yesterday. So I'm assuming I'll get a text today.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. Makes sense.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'll pull up last week's show and have it ready just in case, just throwing it in if needed.
Okay. What time yesterday was Barry supposed to call in?
The 8:40, the 8:45,
8:15.
8:15 range.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call him at that time today if we're live. But it's possible if I'm first and they're here at 7, I might come back at 8. You know what I mean? I'll see. I'll
Yeah.
decide.
No, makes sense.
All right.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right. I'll let you know. Okay. Take care. Bye.
Perfect. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right. He's ready to go. So if you saw my earlier stream, you know what I'm talking about. If you missed the earlier stream, you don't know what I'm talking about. Welcome, welcome. We have so much to cover. I'm going to start with the Elon story because that, to me, that's the big story. I mean, that just blows me the freak away. The Elon Musk story. I am really blown away by that. What has me blown away is how the media are trying to make Elon Musk the villain when what he's doing is rooting out the corruption. So it just makes no sense to me that they would make him into the villain because he's catching the ones that are stealing. But that's how Democrats roll. That's just how Democrats are. You know what? And they'll always be that way. Because the media are part of the Washington corruption. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. We all know this. Welcome. If you're new, you'll see me in a minute. I'm just setting up a couple things here behind the scenes that I can't show you on camera. Okay. One more thing. All right. I'm back. Welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. But I am without a doubt. See, that's why my camera angle is off. I knew I was leaning my iPad on the camera stand. I knew there was something off. There we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So we have no dilemma. That's been worked out, thankfully. Okay, hold on. Check one more thing over here. Perfect. All right. Okay. Phone's already ringing. If you're on hold, you're going to hang in there. I'm not going to take any calls till after. Let me see who's on the phone. What the heck? Yeah, what's up? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian.
Yeah, you're a little early. What's up?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's on your mind?
Oh, okay. Good morning, Brian. It's Lenny from Coconut Creek.
Yeah, I'm not on the air yet. The show hasn't started yet. Do you want to hold, or do you want to talk to me off the air? What's up?
Okay. Just give me 1 second because I'm on my Bluetooth. Okay, that's better.
Okay.
I actually I was on hold. Yes, I think I was your last call, and
Yeah.
like 9 o'clock. I think you took like 2 extra calls, and I think I was the last one. But I was, I had you on YouTube, and
yeah.
But I guess I was just listening.
Well, do you want to talk to me on the air? I'll be on the air in a few minutes. But you'd have to hold on for a while because I got to start the show and everything.
Yeah, there's,
Okay.
there's all this. Yeah, no problem.
All right, I'll put you on hold. It's going to be a while, but hold on. All right, give him some time to wake up too. Yeah, exactly. I put him on. He'll be on hold for a while, so we'll see if he wakes up in that time. Hey, first thing the guy did in the morning was call me. I'm honored. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be on the air in, I don't know, about 5 or 6 minutes. But I'm not going to start with a call. I got to start with what I'm going to talk about, which is the Elon Musk press conference, which was amazing with President Trump, wasn't it? It was great. It was the best. No doubt about it. Did you guys watch it? Trump in the Oval with Elon Musk? These people, and I love how President Trump didn't let the AP reporter in because they won't call the Gulf of America the Gulf of America. They wouldn't let him in. That's hilarious. Welcome. It is already, can you believe it, Wednesday? I have a new podcast today too. I got a busy week. I went to the store yesterday. I went to Winn-Dixie. There were hardly any eggs. They've killed all the chickens. There's a shortage of supply. How is Trump supposed to make chickens that are laying eggs? How are you supposed to do that? They killed. How many chickens have they killed because of the bird flu? When one in the flock gets it, they have to kill all of them because it spreads like crazy. So how is Trump supposed to create egg-laying chickens? I think millions, many millions, more than 1 million. Many more than 1 million. Okay. We'll be on the air in 5 minutes. Tell me that. They've had to euthanize millions and millions of chickens. Let me see. me see. As of January 13th, it was over 20 million. So, and there's been many more since. So, how is President Trump supposed to create egg-laying chickens? If somebody knows how to do that, I love these liberals. They just want to make themselves look stupid. No, you can't eat the infected chickens, or children either. Well, you know, and people are hoarding too. That's not helping. It's like the toilet paper in 2020. I'll be right back. We got about 3 minutes. Yeah, he's just got to create chickens with that egg-laying chicken creation machine that the government has. You think they have? I bet they don't have a shortage in Ukraine. Biden probably shipped all the eggs there. All of a sudden, all the liberals are into chickens. They want eggs. All of a sudden, they all want eggs. Give me a freaking break. 1, 2, testing. Having a little loose connection here. There we go. All right, we have 2 minutes until showtime. 2 minutes. I'll start with that. I'll start with the eggs. This is that stupid troll. What a stupid comment. I'm going to start the other stream in a minute. Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We got a lot to cover. We're going to be live on the radio in about 35 seconds, and I'm going to jump into the issues. And I'm going to start with, we're going to talk about Elon Musk and that epic press conference yesterday. But I am also going to get into, in the beginning, the eggs. Because, I mean, what the media are doing with the eggs is so stupid. And I don't know if it's total Trump derangement or if they're just generally stupid in the media. Well, the media are liberal, so what do you go? Okay, here we go. Seconds to go. Stand by. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. All right, we got a lot to cover today, and I am most definitely going to get into one of the most epic press conference ever, the Elon Musk, Donald Trump Oval Office press conference yesterday, which will be a press conference people watch 150 years from now. That was one of the most historic press events in the history of the Oval Office that was seen live. And we'll get it. And I mean that because, remember, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, the richest man who's ever lived. And he sends rockets into space pretty much every day. So he's a very famous person on top of it. But we'll get into that in a few minutes. I was not even going to bring this up, but one of the liberal Trump derangement syndrome sufferers in my live chat on my YouTube channel had mentioned, when are the eggs prices going? Liberals, they don't even say hello anymore. The liberal, you know, like in Hawaii, aloha is hello and goodbye. In liberalese, if you're a liberal, if you're a Democrat, hello and goodbye is, how those egg prices doing? This stupid thing. And I went to Winn-Dixie yesterday, and they hardly had any eggs. There were very few eggs. I was surprised. I go to my Publix, and they're loaded, and I could get a dozen eggs on Sunday when I went there for under $6. They were $5.69. But I was surprised that there were no eggs on the shelves at Winn-Dixie, and from what I understand, there's a lot of stores that don't have eggs. And the liberals are blaming Trump. Well, tens of millions of chickens have been euthanized because of the bird flu. When one bird gets the bird flu, they have to euthanize the entire flock because it spreads like wildfire. And I looked up the number of chickens that have been euthanized, and I just did a quick look right before I went on the air. So I just did a quick Google search and read the first article. So as of January 13th, which was a month ago, as of January 13th, a month ago, over 20 million American it's hard, oh, these are a lot of words, egg-laying chickens. If you had a chicken that could lay a leg, that'd be something. Over 20 million egg-laying chickens had been euthanized as of a month ago. So I'm sure many more tens of millions have been euthanized over this bird flu since then. And I don't know what the latest number or the estimate is, but there's two things going on with the eggs. One, tens of millions of egg-laying chickens are no more because of the bird flu. So there's fewer eggs in the marketplace. And I also suspect all of a sudden there's a hoarding of egg purchasing when people can do it. Much like the toilet paper shortage that we had back in 2020. Remember that? There was no toilet paper. And it was difficult to get toilet paper for a while. And a lot of that was because people are hoarding it. Now, I don't know if there's any updated numbers since January 13th, but that's it. So what is Donald Trump supposed to do? Is he supposed to just use that egg-laying chicken creation machine that the government has and create 100 million egg-laying chickens? There's nothing he can do about the number of chickens that can lay eggs. So this is one of those things that is out of his control. I mean, I don't understand what these liberals are thinking. If you have tens of millions of chickens that have been euthanized, and other types of birds too, but if you have tens of millions of egg-laying chickens euthanized, people obviously are hoarding eggs, like the toilet paper back in the day. What is President Trump supposed to do about that? How can you lower the prices? And what I was wondering, the prices at Publix are under $6 a dozen, at least they were on Sunday. Is Publix losing money on eggs to keep people coming into the store to buy other things? I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. But when there's a supply shortage, okay, when there's a supply shortage, there's nothing you can do as president to lower the price of that, unless he nationalized eggs and signed an executive order mandating that they only sell them at a certain price. But how can you do that? So that's that. Enough of the egg prices. The liberals, they think they got something with that. Like it, you know, over the years, liberals always have stupid talking points that are meaningless. And there's been different talking points over the years. And if you ever ask a liberal to explain their talking points, they're lost. Now, there's some people on hold. I'll take a call or two early on, which I don't normally do, and then we'll take our first break, and then I'm going to get into the Elon Musk, Donald Trump Oval Office press conference yesterday, which was fantastic. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, that Elon and Trump meeting in the Oval Office, that was epic. Two geniuses, and the press, there's no way they can trip those two up. You know, they're talking. I love the way President Trump sat there listening, looking at Elon, many times shaking his head, and then once in a while he'd step in. You're talking about probably the two smartest men on the planet telling you what's up, and the press there was nothing they could say against what they were saying.
Well, it was really bizarre. I mean, I believe that press conference with President Trump and Elon Musk will be one of the most famous historical Oval Office press events in the history of the United States, because Donald Trump.
I hope they do it every week.
Well, I
hope they do it every week, Brian.
Well, I don't know. You don't want too much of a good thing. I don't know. They know what to do. But the thing about it that made it historic is they're the three most famous people on the planet are Trump, Putin, and Elon Musk. Those are the two most famous people on the planet. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world and the richest man who's ever lived. Donald Trump is a historic president for all kinds of reasons. There were 2 assassination attempts, the 2 non-consecutive terms. In 100 years, 150 years from now, people will look back at that press conference, and they're going to laugh at the press, who's accusing the richest man in the world of stealing from the government. He has more money than anyone else alive. Why would he be stealing money from the government?
They want to make people believe that because it's actually them that was stealing the money.
Exactly. Rules for Radicals #1 from Saul Alinsky.
That's
Accuse your opposition of doing what you were doing.
Because the mainstream news media was the reason that our government got away with all of this, because they were never reporting the truth. They were just running cover for them, and now they're all exposed.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was great. And, for the life of me, I don't understand why they're interrogating Elon Musk. Shouldn't the press be finding this woman from FEMA that sent the $59 million to New York after the president ordered her not to? And they're not interested in getting to the bottom of that story. They're mad at Elon for exposing it.
Right. And he's going to expose so much in so little time. It's going to really awaken a lot of more Americans to the fact that President Trump knows exactly what he's doing. And he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
That's right. That's right. All right, Jeff, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks so much. All right, you take care. Now, I want to tell you guys, the free shipping offer is still in effect at mypillow.com. It will end without notice. It's free shipping on all orders, no matter how large, no matter how small. There's no conditions, no catches. Free shipping site-wide with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And there's huge sales on everything. All of the pillows, the sheets, the blankets, the pet beds, the slippers, the bathrobes, everything. There's just massive sales site-wide, up to 80% off top MyPillow products. That's with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And it's also on top of the savings discount, it's also free shipping. So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane, Kane, and get free shipping site-wide. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our first break of this Wednesday morning edition of Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back. All right. If you're new, welcome. This is where MAGA comes to talk. You will very much enjoy this show, so make sure you subscribe if you are new. Oh man, what an exciting day. So after this break, if you were watching before the show started, I got a call from a guy. He's a nice guy. He calls from time to time. He was a little bit asleep. He called before I went on the air. He's been on hold for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go to him and we'll see if he has woken up yet. I'm catching up on my coffee. Welcome, yes, welcome. If you're new, welcome. It's nice to come in and have people on hold before the show even starts. That's like really awesome. I appreciate that, guys. But I'm definitely going to get into, I'm going to take this call from the guy that called before the show started. Everyone else, you hold on, and then I'm going to, after I talk to him, I'm going to get into the Elon Musk event, because that was just beautiful. Okay. Mike texts me what time we're coming back and what live commercials I have to do, because they're on the log at the radio station. So I have my phone here and he's texting me now. Okay. He just told me what live, there's a commercial log, so that's how I know what commercials to do and when. I don't know about a weekly presser. I think they should be spaced out. If you do things weekly, it becomes boring. You don't want it to be that. You want it to be, an event. So like when something happens, have him come out. This is the SteveKaneShow.com website, SteveKaneShow.com, if you want to check that out. And this picture, this is Steve. He is actually standing in front of his crypt at the mausoleum where he'll spend eternity. I took that picture of him there. His name with his birth date and the death date's empty is right there behind him. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Yep, that's his crypt. He'll be in one and his wife will be in the other. I don't know who's in who, I forget. All right. We'll be back in 10 seconds. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. All right. If you're on hold, I'm going to take one call because it was a gentleman that called way before the show started. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Lenny from Coconut Creek.
Hey, Lenny. What's on your mind?
And, man, there's so much happening. It's all good stuff. But my wife and I, my wife Darlene and I, it was a pleasure, meeting with you a while back at Wings Plus.
Oh, you were there on Inauguration Day?
Oh, it was ridiculous, man. It was one of the best,
Ridiculous in a good way. Ridiculously good is what you mean.
Oh yeah, I was. Unfortunately, I had the time messed up, and we got there late, and you were actually on your way out, and we were fortunate, to take some pictures with you. But
great.
You try to get out of there, and the more you try to get out of there, people were stopping you and everything.
Yeah.
But and you just showed a picture of Steve, and I wish you'd. I don't know. I don't recall.
Well, listen, open phones is on Friday. I got a lot going on. Is there an issue that you wanted to talk about? What was on your mind? Or you just wanted to say hi? Well, you just checking in?
No, actually, what you brought up about, the sit down with Elon and Trump yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, that was beautiful.
It like you said, this is something. That meeting is going to go down in history, and having Elon Musk with his son there and watching, Trump's face, as he gave him the platform to speak, the left, they're losing it.
Well, like I give you an example. Like yesterday, and by the way, Lenny, I appreciate the call, and it was good to meet you at Wings Plus. Well, let me take another. Some of these people have been on hold. It's early. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Montana Mark.
Hey, Mark. What's on your mind?
Well, I watched that entire interview with Trump.
Oh, hold on one second. You talk which one? You talking about the one with Elon yesterday, the press conference?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're two successful businessmen, and listening to them talk gave me a lot of hope and a lot of confidence that they will turn this mess around that the Democrats left.
It just blew my mind how pissed off the media are that Elon Musk is catching thieves that are stealing money from the taxpayers of the United States, and they're not mad at the people doing the stealing. Instead of interrogating Elon Musk, shouldn't they be trying to get that FEMA lady that sent the $59 million to New York City, even though the president ordered them not to? She should be, I know they fired her, but she should be arrested. What crime is that she commit? They're not interested in that. They're mad at Elon for exposing it.
I know, because that $59 million given to the hotels would have helped out those people in North Carolina. And
yeah. Well, FEMA's, Trump's talking about dissolving FEMA. And FEMA is going to, something's going to happen there. There may be something done with Homeland Security, because disaster relief falls under Homeland, So I don't know, but FEMA's got to go. The level of corruption in the government is far beyond, I think, what anyone imagined.
The one thing that really, inspired me listening to Elon Musk, he talked about how they want to show the people where the money is going. And Elon said to himself that if I make a mistake, I'll admit it, but we'll work at straightening out the mistake.
Yeah.
So,
like they're obsessed over the 50 million condoms. They didn't go to Gaza. They went somewhere else. I forgot where. And Elon Musk says, well, that's a lot of condoms. Why are we sending 50 million condoms anywhere? And I'm not so sure 50 million condoms were sent. That may have been what was the cover story.
With President Trump and Elon Musk doing that work, they're going to start working on that, 34 billion debt.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
All right, good to hear from you. All right, appreciate the call. All right. Adam, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lenny from Coconut Creek again.
No, Lenny, it's one call per show. I moved on. It's one call per show, Lenny.
Yeah, but it just went dead.
Oh, I said goodbye. I thanked you for the call.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No problem. But you got back on. But it's one call per show, and open phones are on Friday.
Oh, okay.
All right. Take care. Oh my goodness. A little bit of a rough start this morning, people, but that's okay. That's okay. I've had rougher starts on the air, believe me. All right, so let me get into this. The Elon Musk press conference with President Trump yesterday in the Oval Office was amazing. And he said a lot of things that were very good and interesting, but this was my favorite. Yeah, they should be in the Guinness Book, he said. The thing about the people that are receiving Social Security that are 150 years old, and you see the media upset at Elon Musk for uncovering this, okay? If I were one of these reporters that's with a major news organization, you really got to wonder the state of reporting today. I'm a one-man band. I don't have the resources. But Fox does. These other organizations do, okay? And what I would like to do, if I were with one of these big media outlets, there's a lot of big stories right now. Two with this. One is, why are they not going after the FEMA worker to get a comment on why she sent $59 million to New York against the executive order of the President of the United States? They're not interested in that. Why'd she do it? You know, another thing too, the people that are receiving these Social Security payments that are 150 years old. How many people are younger on the books that are dead that are getting statements? But these people that are 150 years old, they've been getting Social Security payments probably since they were 65. So it's a long time, right? So they've been like the whole system. They've been in almost the whole time. Social Security is less than 100 years old. It was brought in by FDR. Now, there's a couple possibilities. Most people's Social Security is automatically deposited in their account. But if someone, these people that are 150 years old, there actually may be a physical check that is mailed out. There very well could be. The press have zero interest in, let's find out from Elon Musk who these people that are 150 years old are, and let's go to them and find out where the money's going. Someone's getting the money. Is the money being sent in a check that's thrown away in the junk mail? Is it being directly deposited in a bank account? Is someone spending the money? Or is the money sitting in bank accounts and has been there for years? Obviously, there are people that are getting this money and spending it, and the press aren't interested. And I'm starting to wonder, are they not interested, or are they just stupid and incompetent? And I'll give you an example of something I saw on Fox yesterday that I couldn't believe what I was watching. They were doing, it was Harris Faulkner. Now, I don't remember if this was Outnumbered or Harris Faulkner's show. I think this was Harris Faulkner's show, which is on before Outnumbered. And she's talking about the FEMA lady that got fired for sending the $59 million to New York for the hotel stay for the illegals. She goes to this reporter, and I don't know his name. You ladies probably do. He looks like a GQ model. Do you know what I'm talking about? And this guy is standing in front of the Roosevelt Hotel in New York. And he's standing in front of the hotel, and he reads Elon Musk's tweet about the FEMA lady sending the $59 million to New York City. He's in front of, then he throws it back to Harris Faulkner, and Harris Faulkner says, great reporting. And I'm like, what reporting? He just read the tweet standing in front of a hotel. There was no reporting. Who is this lady to do this? Did you go to her for a comment? Was she told to do it by someone? Was she paid off to do it? Why did she do it? Standing in front of a hotel in New York City and reading a tweet, that's not reporting. But Harris Faulkner and this guy thought it was. So are the modern reporters just dumb, incompetent people that aren't really reporters, and it doesn't even occur to them that, well, let's find out who these 150-year-old people are. Let's find out where the checks are going. Somebody's getting the money. Are they spending it? If so, who are they? Does that not even occur to them because they're stupid and incompetent, or are they covering, through their Trump derangement syndrome, up for the people that are doing all the thieving? All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number, 1-888-465-2631. We'll break and be back after this. We'll be back in a few minutes. I'm just waiting for Mike to tell us when we're going to be back. Yeah, so I was showing this to people earlier. This background I use here is the Steve Kane Show website, stevekaneshow.com. These are not even all the radio stations we're on. I got to update that. And this is what I was talking about. This is Steve in front of the crypt where he and his wife will spend eternity. He's in one, she's in the other, and his name and her name are on it right behind him. I think this one, the top one, is Steve. And we were over there. It's the Gardens, which is a very upscale. There's a lot of famous people there and the children of celebrities there. In fact, one of the most famous conservative, there's a I don't want to say who, but there's somebody that's on Fox has their family there because they were listeners of ours and they wanted to be there. We used to advertise this place many years ago. But Steve's got his name right there behind his head with his birth date, and the death date's empty. If you're watching on the green screen live stream, to hear and see the audio that I'm playing, you have to watch my other live stream. I know it's kind of a funny thing to do, but you know. Who has a picture of themselves in front of their own mausoleum crypt? Only Steve Kane. Only person I know. Pretty funny picture, actually, to have. His wife's name's on her crypt, too. And they were advertisers years ago when they were building the place. So it's filled with listeners of the Steve Kane Show. And Steve got the best crypt in the whole joint because we were there when they were building it. So he got to pick it out while it was under construction, and he picked that one. So when you first walk in, it's a beautiful, very, very upscale mausoleum. It's called the Gardens. It's in Boca Raton, Florida, and you can look it up online. And when you walk in the door, you can see Steve's name on his crypt out of the corner of your eye. It's everybody sees it as soon as they walk in. It's kind of a funny thing to have a picture of him there. But it was interesting to get to see it when it was under construction because they showed us how mausoleums work, and I learned all kinds. I'm not going to get into it now, but it was fascinating. Yes. Okay, about 30 seconds and we'll be live. William, thank you. Elon, you need to get out of the way so legacy media can get the dirty politicians to keep stealing. Yeah, right. Exactly. They want Elon to get out of the way so they can keep stealing. All right. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm talking about this historic press conference with President Trump and Elon Musk. I've never seen anything like it. I remember when Bill Clinton was running for president the first time. Okay, and he had this thing that this is when he was still Governor Clinton and he was running for president, and this was part of his stump speech. Bill Clinton. When I'm president, we're going to do away with all the smoke-filled backroom deal making. We're going to be the most transparent administration in history, which of course wasn't true. And they didn't smoke the cigars in that administration. They did something else with them, if you remember. President Trump is the most transparent presidential administration in the history of the United States presidency. In fact, maybe in the history of any leader of any major nation in history. And this Elon Musk DOGE team, the press have spent the last 3 weeks going after them like nobody's business. And boom, he had an impromptu press conference right there. And you've never seen anything like this with his son X. You know, when you're the son of the richest man in the world, you'll be fine with a name like X. You know, if I was named X or you were named X, we'd have to, change our names. You never get hired with the name X, but Elon's son X has nothing to worry about. And the press, even today, I've seen some of the press are annoyed that he had his son crawling around and playing with his dark MAGA hat. And they even have the mother of that child, because he's got a lot of kids, Elon, with different ladies from what I understand. I don't know. She's upset as inappropriate. I never saw the media upset that President Kennedy had John crawling around on the floor. They think that's cute. You still hear from that. Now, hold on a second. I'm getting an important text message, which I may not tell you guys about. Okay. Good. Okay. Everything's fine, Mike. You guys listening may never know what's going on behind the scenes today, but this is probably one of the most bizarre things that have ever happened to me during a program. But it hasn't happened yet. But because they have Trump derangement syndrome, they're angry. But about a day or two ago, they asked President Trump if there was going to be an Elon Musk press conference. He says, yeah, maybe, you know. So they had it yesterday. And you could feel the anger from the press. And for the life of me, I don't understand how they process that. How could they possibly have any hostility towards a guy who's catching thieves? Right? They're not even hearing it. They just are fuming. So my favorite part, well, I got two favorite parts, and it's hard to say which one is my favorite. But there were two things that Elon Musk said yesterday that were very exciting. One, the people that are 150 years old receiving Social Security. He said they should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. They're missing out. But then there was this one that sent chills through Washington. I'm going to play this one to you. This comment from Elon Musk has people in Washington up all night drinking. Okay, there's a panic going through the Beltway. Listen. Okay, now before I play the rest of that, I want to be very clear on who he's talking about here. He said people in the bureaucracy. He's not talking about members of Congress. He's talking about people that work at these different government agencies, which is much different than members of Congress. Okay, so, wow, this is amazing. You know, and also, is it not historic in itself that the richest man on the planet Earth, the richest man who has ever lived, has donated his very valuable time and expertise to do a financial audit of federal government spending through the executive branch, and they're angry at him for that. But now again, he's not talking about members of Congress. We know they're crooks. We'll get to them later. He's talking about people who work for these agencies that are worth millions of dollars, but only earn six figures a year. Some of them, how they do that. And I like what he said. Maybe it's very good investing. If so, we need to take their financial advice, like Chuck Schumer and his $81 million. But they're talking about people that work at USAID, and the department of this, the department of that, and the department of the other thing, okay? That is got to be frightening to people. And there's such a paper trail of everything today because everything's so digital. You know, things aren't, so there's going to be easy records to find. Even though some of the records are somewhat vague, they're vague on purpose because they don't want somebody to be able to look in and see what they're doing. But this is how they often catch spies. You know, we were talking yesterday about the FBI spies that have been telling the Venezuelan gang members, and we were talking about some of these FBI spies during the Soviet era, And they caught some of them because they were spending a lot of money buying fancy cars and clothes and stuff. And they caught them, and they were spies. There's no way that there are not people in Washington that are freaking the freak out right now. No one has ever looked into this. The thievery that goes on with people that work in the bureaucracy is considered just part of normal life. You know, and he's going to get to the bottom of it. And there are going to be some hardcore arrests. And I'll tell you, the FEMA people that were fired yesterday that sent the $59 million to New York City, don't think that being fired is the end of it. That is some hardcore criminal activity. I don't know what the crime is. Is it embezzlement? Is it employee theft? Believe me, they're being investigated. And white-collar crime, they don't run in and just with the SWAT team on white-collar crime too much. Believe me, they're doing a very detailed examination of the FEMA people that were fired yesterday to every aspect of their life and finding out if they're getting kickbacks, why they did this. And there very well could be arrest in that. I would be surprised if there's not at some point an arrest or multiple arrests, just with that FEMA transfer. I'm also expecting Trump to order the federal government to take the money back. And the story that I heard yesterday, and I don't, it's hard to know what's true or not with these things because the press they just, take things off of Twitter and they make that a story and then they steal each other's and they plagiarize each other all day. But the story's developed a little bit. It was for hotel stay and other things in New York, but now it was reported yesterday that the FEMA $59 million went to the city of New York itself. So that should be pretty easy just to take back. New York's got the money in the account. The federal government should just take it back. They have the ability to do it. Take it back. Take it back. And, these judges that are getting in and making all these rulings, Trump is appealing and everything else. He's abiding by these judges' rulings, but the judges are out of line. You cannot have a judge, I don't care what level of federal judge they are. They're not the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court can weigh in, and they're the final say. But all judges do is decide what's constitutional. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that what President Trump is doing, he doesn't have the authority to do. I don't believe that. He is the chief executive of the executive branch of the federal government. He's the chief executive of the government. As the chief executive, the CEO, so to speak, as president, it is his business who's stealing money. Okay? It is his business who's stealing money. And it's not unconstitutional for him to root that out. In instances like this, what judges do is make rulings on what is constitutional or not. And just because something's is not constitutional, and I'm not saying that what he's doing isn't, I don't see how it's unconstitutional. He's sending DOGE into government agencies that are under his direct control, not into Congress, under his direct control as the commander-in-chief and as the chief executive of the executive branch of government. These are all agencies under his sphere. FEMA, right? These are the people where he appoints the secretary, he appoints the director of FEMA, that's him. He appoints the head of Social Security, the secretary of the different departments, education. So that it's all under his sphere. But all judges do is determine what's constitutional or not. It doesn't mean that what he's doing is a crime. So if it were unconstitutional, and this came up in the press conference with President Trump and Elon yesterday, Congress will pass a law, then it's constitutional. And I don't think Trump, with this MAGA majority we have in both houses, is going to have a difficult time passing a law through this Congress that says that government corruption is illegal and it needs to be rooted out. Now, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. If you're on hold, hang in there. Our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be back after this. Now, if you're new, make sure that you subscribe, guys, all right? And if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video and sharing the stream on your socials. Okay. Oh, it's a great day, guys. Great day. I'm excited. You excited? I'm excited. Things are going so well. Man, they could not be going better. This is as good as it gets, man. This is just great times. Why do you think the media, honestly, are angry at Elon for exposing the theft, but not the people doing the stealing? Why do you think that is? If you could tell me in a word, that'd be easier, so I can read it real quick in the chat. Just because it's Trump derangement, or these are their friends and family? What do you think it is? We'll be back in about 1 minute. We'll be back live on the radio. I don't think they hear themselves. I really don't. Stockholm syndrome. That's a very good possibility. Stockholm syndrome. That's a yes. I'm really looking forward to them investigating the members of the bureaucracy that work for these agencies that live the lives of millionaires, but they only have a government salary. That's going to be fantastic. Well, we know USAID has been funding the media. That was part of the thing. We know that, yes. So that we know for a fact that the media are indeed getting kickbacks. Now, if you'd like to call in, the number to call is pinned in the live chat. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm going to get to the calls when we get back. I'll take some more calls before I get to the next clip. But that was an epic press conference. All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You know, later this month, I'm not going to tell you the details yet, but I got an appearance, a personal appearance coming up later this month. It's going to be in Boca. I'll tell you more about it later in the month, not today. Maybe I'll start telling you about it tomorrow. But if you didn't get to Wings Plus, you'll be able to see me in Boca later this month. All right, 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. And, of course, we're talking about the most exciting press conference I think I've ever seen in the Oval Office in my life with President Trump and Elon Musk yesterday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Angie from Colorado.
Hey, Angie.
Quick question. Hey, it's 10 degrees here, just FYI.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, you said something that sounded of interest to me.
Only one thing? Oh, I'm not. If I only said one thing that's interesting, I'm in trouble. Oh, my goodness.
No, you made a remark, and let me see if I understood this right. When they make a law, and then it becomes constitutional. Is that what you said, what I understood? Because
well, that's yeah. Yes, go ahead.
The Constitution has been written, and from what I learned and understand is you have the Constitution, you have your state Constitution. You can't just add laws to it. Lobbyists and all these people, they
No. There's a difference. No. There's a difference. There's a difference. Okay, we're not talking about constitutional amendments. Okay, maybe I should rephrase it. What federal courts and the Supreme Court rule is whether something is legal according to the Constitution, which are all the laws under the federal government. We're not talking about the amendments. So if there's not if there's a law, or if there's not a law allowing the president to do what he's doing, they can pass a law to make it legal. It doesn't have to be this; it can be other things. And then those laws can be challenged. You know, they can challenge those laws in the court, in the federal courts, and the Supreme Court. But yeah, that's all.
Right.
That's when it comes to these types of rulings with presidents, all the federal courts do is make a ruling as to whether or not what the president is doing is legal according to the Constitution. That's what they're doing. And President Trump said yesterday, if it's not, Congress can pass a law. I don't think I'm going to have a hard time getting this through, he said, if we have to do that.
Okay. Right. No, I agree everything that our beloved president does. It's just the way you phrased it, because I take everything literal, because, English is my first language.
Well, this is not, I'm not Mark Levin. This isn't a constitutional scholar program where we're in a law school. So, I'm talking in a vague generality about it.
All
right.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, but good call. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Bill from Sanford.
Hey, Bill, what's up?
Well, what I heard yesterday afternoon is that this money that was going to New York, a lot of it, or a portion of it, went to the Roosevelt Hotel, which is owned by Pakistan.
Oh, okay, that's great.
And,
isn't the Roosevelt Hotel like that? There's been songs written about the Roosevelt Hotel. Is it that Roosevelt Hotel?
I don't know, but this was a credible source, a podcast that's not on the same time as you are, by the way. But this is owned by Pakistan, and the whole hotel is all illegals. So they got a big choice. Plus, they get money for meals and everything else. It's not just.
Well, and it's not just that hotel, but the point I was making is this Fox guy. He's in front of the hotel. All he did was read Elon Musk's tweet. That's not reporting. Like if he would have shared what you shared, that's interesting. He learned something. We learned something there, but he didn't even do that, and they call that report. Why do you think the media are angry at Elon and not the people stealing?
Because they don't like Elon.
Well, hey, Bill, I appreciate the call. Yeah, that's part of it, no doubt about it, because he's MAGA. But we found out USAID that Elon exposed with DOGE has been funding the media. $50 million for the New York Times, $34 million for Politico. Thousands of journalists are being paid by them. Hundreds of media outlets are being supported by the USAID. So with the media, a lot of it's personal, because they're being funded with this corruption. That's why they're angry. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Pam from Maryland.
Hey, Pam.
I don't know if anyone said it or not, talking about the eggs.
Yeah.
Why is there not a chicken shortage?
Why is there a chicken shortage?
Why is there not one?
I don't understand what you're asking me.
Talking about the eggs.
There is a chicken shortage.
Killing all these chickens.
They're killing.
Okay,
My guess. Not all chickens lay eggs. There's not all. There's different types of chickens, and I don't know if chicken prices have gone up or not. My wife and I, because what do they call people like us? Empty nesters. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't really do too much grocery shopping. We mostly eat out and stuff, it's, because we don't have a kid to feed anymore. So I don't know.
Right.
When I went into Winn-Dixie yesterday, and then I went into Publix last week, that was more, so I've been to the grocery store 3 times in the last week. I haven't been to the grocery store 3 times in the last year. Okay, so I never go to the grocery store. So I don't know if chicken prices themselves are up, but I did look at the steaks, and I was like, holy smokes, I might as well go to a restaurant and order a steak than get one from the grocery store. But the prices on the chicken meat, I don't know. But there's different types of chicken. There's chickens that are bred to eat, and then there's egg-laying chickens. So maybe the bird.
I'm just saying they're just talking about the eggs only. They're not talking about.
I went to
chicken shortage too.
I went to Winn-Dixie yesterday, and I went to the one in. I was at Friendly Tire in Margate, and I went. Someone had told me in my family that there's an egg shortage. That some of the stores don't have eggs, and I haven't seen that. When I went to Publix last week, they were loaded up on eggs. So there's a Winn-Dixie marketplace, the one in the Pepper Tree Plaza on Sample Road and 441, which is down the street from Friendly Tire. And I went in there, and there were hardly any eggs on the shelf. I was shocked. There were so few eggs. It was practically an empty case. But what I found out this morning is, as of a month ago, over 20 million egg-laying chickens were euthanized from the bird flu, and and it's been tens of millions since then. There's a shortage, and people are hoarding eggs like they were hoarding toilet paper. Okay, in 2020. So President Trump cannot create more egg-laying chickens. It may take years for this to come back.
Yeah, they're only talking about the eggs, though. They're never talking about, well, why is there not?
Well,
chickens?
well, somebody can tell me, you people out there, has the price of like regular chickens gone up? Like the ones you would eat, not the egg laying, but the ones you buy to eat. Has that gone up? I don't know. I don't know what the prices have been or what they are. I do know that I'm starting to think Publix, who's selling eggs for under $6 a dozen, may be losing money on them. The eggs are at if you go to the grocery stores, they set it up to as a racket. The eggs are in the back of the store. So so is Publix losing money on each dozen of eggs to get people into the store? So they'll buy other things. That is very possible. They don't make money on the lotto, and they sell lotto tickets to get people in the store. There's a lot of things like that. That's why all the staples are in the back, the milk. But you ask a good question. I don't know. There were no empty shelves of chicken.
they're only talking about the eggs, though. That's just what my question was.
All right, appreciate the call. Good question, and maybe somebody will let us know. Now, I want to talk to you guys about the free doorbell camera offer. This is amazing. The free doorbell camera offer. It's the doorbell camera is life-changing. It's part of your home security system. You get a notification on your cell phone every time there's movement at your door, no matter where you are, whether you're at work, at the store, or traveling around America, or on the cruise with us. But also, it's convenient, right? The reason that I don't go to the grocery store so much, we do get some groceries, is we normally do Instacart. So I get a notification when the driver pulls up. I can see they're there, and I know, that it's the Instacart guy, not some salesman trying to sell me something at my front door. And Sloman's is going to give you a free doorbell camera that connects to your cell phone too, with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Sloman's is also going to give you a free customized. The phones are ringing off the hook, guys, so bear with me. We'll get to the phones in a bit. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Sloman's is going to give you an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for your doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, and a backup battery, plus a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call, 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sharon Smith, and I'm calling from Texas.
Okay, Sharon. You're on the air.
I wanted to talk to the lady that was talking about the eggs and what you had described about the different birds.
Yeah. Oh, she was asking me. She was asking me about the chicken, like the chicken breast and stuff. Is that in short supply? Is that gone up? And I don't know.
Well, I cannot really answer that question because I don't buy none of it. I raise my own. But you were talking about birds having meat birds that just are there for just meat. That's out there in the world of everybody buying their birds from Walmart or whatever store they go to.
Okay.
You have also birds that lay eggs, but you also have what's called dual purpose.
Oh, you can do both.
Chickens can only lay eggs for so many years before they're no longer.
And then you eat it. Oh, so maybe Now listen, I gotta run for the break. But that's some good information. So maybe it hasn't caught up to the ones you eat yet, because they haven't graduated to that yet. It's possible. 1 hour down, 2 to go. Call us on hold. Stand by. Back after this. The breaks at the top of the hour are what we call hard breaks. I have to take those on time. So what she said was, she said dual-purpose birds, so they can only lay eggs for a number of years, and then you eat them. So maybe it hasn't caught up to those yet. I don't know. We'll find out. She's going to call back. She's probably the person I just answered the phone for. She's going to call back because I ended the call before she was done. If she gets back on, I'll let her talk. But I was up against the break. I had no choice. I don't put people on hold very often. A lot of people, Steve tells me I should do this, but I just don't. I don't put people on hold when it's time for a break very often. Because I find it's anticlimactic if you're listening. It's better not to do that. Don't you think? I mean, you know. That's just my opinion, but who knows? I could be wrong. Okay. So Mike just texted me what time we are going to be back. Okay. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. We'll be back on the radio. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Just over a minute, we'll be back. One minute. Okay. Okay. 25 seconds. All right, stand by. If you are new, make sure you subscribe. If you're on hold, hang in there. 10 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 has begun. My name is Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. If you're on hold, hang in there. We've covered quite a bit today. I'll take some of these calls. Some of them have been holding for a while. I'm sure the egg laying lady is going to call back because I had to cut her off for the top. That's okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This
Hey,
is
Richie.
me again. Listen, I got to
Me
tell you,
again?
first of all,
Me again?
Winn-Dixie has sold all their stores. And Aldi's is taking over, so a lot of their product is not going to be there, including their eggs.
Oh, so you? Oh, really?
A lot of their,
Oh, so the
Yeah,
egg
and what-
the empty egg cooler at Winn-Dixie is, you don't think, is due to the shortage of the eggs?
No, there are plenty of eggs in Publix up here. We have a Winn-Dixie that's changing over to Aldi's also. They got a different supplier. Maybe that's the problem. I have to say something about this press conference yesterday. And you asked, why does the press so against Elon Musk? Because they're supposed to be behind the Democrats.
That's the Democratic.
Well, the
Party.
reason by the way, it was beautiful how Trump would not let the Associated Press reporter in because the AP will not refer to the Gulf of America as the Gulf of America. They inaccurately call it the Gulf of Mexico, and also the navigation in my car updated to Gulf of America, and the Apple iMaps is updated as well. I checked them all this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're very nice. So they're all getting in line, but not the AP. The reason that the reporters are angry at Elon is because USAID that he exposed has been funding the media. Now we know $50 million to the New York Times. They've been funding the media. Now we know why this liberal media that no one watches is able to survive because they're welfare queens of USA.
Well, you know what? Yeah, these Democrats are going crazy. You know what that reminds me of, Brian? Reminds me of a girl that's engaged to a guy. All right, she's engaged to him. He leaves his phone. They're in a nightclub. He leaves his phone on top of the bar. She grabs it and takes off running. He's screaming, "Give me my phone!" She runs into the ladies' room and she sees all the phone numbers of all these women that he's hiding from her, and he's outside of the ladies' room screaming, "That's my privacy. That's not. You shouldn't be looking at that." These people are trying to defend this crap. I mean, and the more this goes on, the better it is for President Trump.
Well, the biggest thing that Elon Musk said in that historic Oval Office press conference with President Trump yesterday, and was the one. I'll play the audio again later, but it's the one where he says we're going to look into these members of the bureaucracy working for different agencies who earn six figures a year but live like millionaires. We're going to find out how they're doing that. He says maybe they know how to invest well, and if so, we need to take their financial advice. But there's no way that did not send chills through Washington yesterday.
Well, not just that. When you hear these Democrats saying President Trump is destroying democracy as we know it, and I say to them, yes, he is. As we, the people, know it, democracy is being destroyed by President Trump because for the last 50 years, you people up in Washington, D.C., if anyone's listening to your show that's a member of that, you've been stealing from the average person for 50 years, and you've been exposed.
I feel like a chump. This is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. And I know people think, oh, you just work 3 hours a day. There's a whole business end. And I know what you do. And Steve and I, and Steve, before I was with him, have it's hard work doing the business end to keep, we're not the longest running radio show because we work 3 hours a day and get the jibber jabber on the show. The stuff off the air is the real work.
Sponsors.
Yeah, we have.
I knew one of them. I knew one of them up in Coral Springs when I was a bus driver.
Yeah.
And he had just left you guys, but he says, boy, it's hard work for them to get. I was a sponsor on this show for like 2 years.
Yeah, well, we have great sponsors that have supported us, many of them for over 20 years, but we have very good sponsors. But I feel like a chump. The rest of the media, they don't have to do that. They just get this USAID money. And we're out there at the radio station, there's an entire sales department. And but this Washington media and this national like CNN and and MSNBC, now we know the secrets to how they stay in business with no viewers. They're not a business.
Hey, you know what? You know what's a shocker too? I'm surprised you haven't brought it up. This is something else. Stephanopoulos is basically going to be fired from Channel 10. I love it.
Oh, from ABC. All right, Richie. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Sharon Smith.
Oh, the egg lady again. Yes, I said you'd be calling back. Yes. Go ahead, egg lady.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted people to know out there that you can keep fresh eggs on the counter for 30 days if they're not washed due to their bloom.
Oh, okay.
But the real reason why I called is to let you know that I do approve of what's going on. And I know that they've got to switch it from Trump to Elon and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But in Texas and Georgia, and this is going across America, everybody. Everybody needs to check their local state and county and everything on the water boards. There's land grabs and water.
Okay, all right. Listen, I'm going to run, but open phones is on Friday. But thanks for the call. One call per show, Egg Lady. All right, take care. All right. I knew she'd call back because I had to cut her off going into the top. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
You know, the first thing I'd like to bring up is a couple of days ago you had that crazy woman from Canada saying that they wanted to attack the U.S.
Oh, yes.
You know, on your podcast. That was great. Now, I thought she was doing a good imitation of AOC. I don't know if she was doing that or not, but man, she was as nuts.
Yeah, maybe I should play that. I on my off the rate. You know, if you guys don't follow me on YouTube, you should. Brian Craig Show. I do a show just like this, taking calls and things all the time, and my podcast and everything. And I did a show a couple days ago. It wasn't on the radio. Canada has gotten their online influencers. They've given them a script, and they're making videos and posting the social media throughout Canada that Canada is preparing for war, not a trade war, a military conflict with the United States. And they're out of their minds in Canada. Canada's never fought for anything. They didn't fight for their liberty. They're really not even an independent country. They never, you know, we fought. Our country, our ancestors fought for the freedom of the American colonies. And Canada, they're still a part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah. But first of all, let me tell anybody who's listening that doesn't do it, they should definitely tune in, because the shows on the other shows are just as good as this. Anyway, that woman, I don't know how somebody like her gets on media attention, because she was as dumb as a cow. But anyway.
Aren't most liberals dumb as a cow?
Yeah, that's true. But now, when it comes to the eggs, you know, my wife told me, her friend told me there's no eggs. So I stopped in BJ's. They had a ton of eggs, ton of chicken. And then I stopped into Costco. Costco has more eggs than I think they'd ever had before. So I guess there must be lots of people raising chickens around.
Well, this is what I know. Okay, I go to Publix. Last time I was there, it was Sunday. Eggs for a dozen were $5.69, and that was for the Publix eggs. And that may be higher than I don't know what eggs used to cost. I've never really paid attention to that stuff. You know, my wife takes care of that stuff. But it's not the prices I've been seeing on television, and they're overstocked with eggs. At Publix. Overstocked. I don't know about the other stores.
And I guess people are all buying it because everybody, you know, they panic like the toilet paper during COVID. Everybody's panicking buying eggs.
And Publix is I usually shop at Publix, but you know, but people, like when we do our Instacart, we do it from Publix. But Publix is known not to have they don't claim to have the lowest prices. They're typically higher than you know, like Aldi's and Walmart. So you know, there's eggs out there. This is a bunch of nonsense that they're bringing up. Anyway, appreciate the call, Doug. You take care. You know what? I got to take our break. Let's take our first break of the second hour. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. Our number, 1-888-465-2631. 1-888-465-2631. Back after this. Okay. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. We'll be back on the radio in about 3 minutes. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in 2 minutes. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. And if you're on hold, hang in there. But if you would like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. Well, we're in a commercial break right now on the radio for about 90 more seconds. So far, it's looking like I made the right decision coming in this morning and doing the show live. Those of you that know what I'm talking about I did a live stream before I went on the radio explaining what's going on. Now, we're in a commercial break for just about another minute on the radio. I'm resting my voice. I talk a lot. It's a lot of people that are singers. They do their on tour. They don't talk when they're not singing on stage. And I've got my podcast, all the YouTube live streams, and my mouth is my jaws are a little sore right now, and my throat's a little scratchy. So I often tell people my mouth gets more work than a street walking prostitute. It's true. All right, 30 seconds. So that's why I'm not always talking during the breaks. You know how many hours a day and when you're talking on the air, it's not the same as having a conversation. You got to project and stuff. Got commercials I got to record and things like that. All right, stay by 10 seconds. That's today. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. Callers on hold, stand by. I want to tell everyone about Friendly Tire in Margate. I've been a customer of Friendly Tire in Margate, I don't know, maybe 15 years. I was buying tires there many years before they joined us, sponsoring the program, Friendly Mike over there. And they've been with us, I don't know, close to a decade now on the air. You can get new tires on the road, out the door, for as low as $70 a tire. New tires. For some of the most common vehicles on the road. And when I say out the door and on the road at Friendly Tire, what I mean by that is when you call Friendly Mike, the price he quotes you, that's everything. He doesn't charge you any extra to mount the tire, balance the tire, dispose of your old tire. Even though it cost him money to dispose of those old tires, he doesn't charge you for any of that. And the tire prices you get are low. New tires. And he has all the name brands. When I went to visit my daughter in California a couple weeks ago, I put 4 new Firestone tires from Friendly Tire on my daughter's car. We shipped it to her in California. So right before we shipped it, I took her car to Friendly Tire and got her 4 new Firestone tires. That was over 2 years ago. And when I went to visit her 2 weeks ago, I was planning on going out there and buying her 4 new tires, which I wasn't crazy about. Can you imagine what 4 new tires cost in Los Angeles? Holy smokes. And I'm used to Friendly Tire prices, which are so much lower than any of the places here in South Florida. And my daughter, I told her, I'm going to get you a new tire. She says, Dad, I don't need new tires. I said, you've been driving through the deserts, the Pacific Coast Highway. You're driving all over because you're new to Cali and all this stuff. I said, let me be, they look new. I was amazed. I was telling this to Mike the other day. He's like, that's awesome. That's awesome. So he has thousands of used tires in stock as well. He does tire repairs, which other places don't. And no matter what type of vehicle you have, he can have the tires for it. A lot of our listeners that have commercial vehicles, dump trucks. I've seen people over there in Porsches, new Vets, and rust buckets. I mean, everybody goes to Friendly Tire. A lot of people that have leases, right before they turn in the lease, they go over there and get tires because they're so low so they don't get dinged by the dealer. If you have run flats like I do on one of my cars, holy smokes, the prices are so low on new run flats, you'll be amazed. Give Friendly Mike a call at Friendly Tire. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. Here's the number, 954-977-9445. I was just over there yesterday. I ran into some of our listeners. One guy in particular, Joe. in the van. I remember you, Joe. Good to meet you. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, it's your favorite Canadian fan from Vancouver Island. Just saying, I'd like to know your roofer, who your sponsor is for your roofer down there, because I've been roofing for 30 years, and with all the weather you get down there, I bet he's a good guy.
Well, I don't.
Start off with that. I'm a great fan.
Oh, well, you're talking about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I've been roofing for 30 years, and I've been out in storms in the middle of winter and putting up tarps, and I know the weather you get down there can be quite horrendous, and it's nice to see a roofer on your show wearing his goods.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, well, I'll give it, if you're out there, I'll give out his number, but right now, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, he's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell your roof you do not need. This is his cell phone, 954-604-4602. You can call or text 954-604-4602. All right, so what's on your mind?
I just want to give you a Canadian perspective as Mr. Trump giving us tariffs. I hope he nails us to the wall, because we need to get a fentanyl czar. Our province where I live has had many, many, many cases of fentanyl labs being produced and creating so much fentanyl it could kill North America over by 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is until Mr. Trudeau, our Prime Minister, gets it together with prosecuting criminals, real criminals, not truckers that fight for freedom in Ottawa. The real crimes are being committed by the individuals that are.
Well, if you look, if you look at what hold on one second. If you look at what President Trump, are you back with us, Canada, or did I lose you? Oh, hold on. There you are. All right. You know, are you back with us, Vancouver Island?
Yeah, I'm back here.
Okay. What President Trump has done with Canada is amazing, right? He got Canada to name a drug czar, and for the first time, I'm seeing the Canadians stop illegals coming through our northern border. They've been stopping them, and let's face it, Canada. I mention this a lot because it's important. 80% of Canadians live within 150 miles of the U.S. border, which means they're very dependent on this country. Don't let them tell you anything different. And Canada has been getting by on America's coattails for decades, okay? And the idea that Canada is going to be able to challenge the United States in a trade war, I don't know. I don't even know what Canadian products we get down here. I don't know of any. Do you know of any Canadian products that we might get in the United States? I don't know of any.
I don't know. There's a catch-up or something somebody was talking about.
No,
but
everyone in America uses Heinz ketchup. That's American. I'm talking about Canadian products. What Canadian products do we have?
Maybe there's a maple syrup or something like that.
Aunt Jemima is not Canadian.
Mega.
No way. No way Aunt Jemima is Canadian.
Maple syrup, mega. Hey, we need that black lady on that jar of syrup for sure.
Aunt Jemima?
That syrup.
Aunt Jemima?
You got that right.
Aunt Jemima's American.
My favorite syrup.
She's American.
You're
Aunt
my
Jemima.
favorite show. I listen to you all the time, Brian. I used to listen to Art Bell, and I love Art Bell. And late night talk show is the absolute very best. Thank you for putting on a top
Art Bell?
show.
Art Bell, who died. I'm not going to get into it now, but do you know the story with his son? What happened with his son and a teacher?
Please tell us.
No, look it up online after 9 o'clock. It's insane. In fact, if you guys know,
it's a wonderful show. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. You know, Art Bell left the air for many years, and he came back years later, and something happened with his son that was insane. But look it up. It's fascinating. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jay from Jersey.
Hey, Jay.
Have a better day today.
Yeah.
I noticed in the beginning where you was talking about the things that that man has come up with and shown the president all the things that's being spent and how they've been getting things wrong. Now I'm gonna ask you because I remember when the president came out and said that they spent $50 million on condoms.
That's true.
Wait, let me finish.
No.
It just came up yesterday. Well, they stood in the office and said yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna after the bottom of the hour break, I'll play that bit of the press conference. They didn't say that they made the condoms for terrorists. Elon said that they spent $50 million on condoms that they sent to Gaza. The $50 million on condoms was correct, just the location was different. It was some other country. I forgot who.
Oh, okay.
So why are we sending? Excuse me. You know, back in the why is the government of the United States spending $50 million on rubbers for some other country? Anyway, why?
I don't. They got the whole thing wrong. Let me ask you this question.
Why?
You might know because you listen to craziness. Now, President Trump said they took the condom and made bombs out of them. Now, could you tell me how you make a bomb out of a condom?
I don't know. No. First off, I'm not going to tell people how to make bombs on the radio. All right.
Okay. Do you ever heard of somebody that can make a bomb out of a condom?
I don't know.
Oh my God! So you're actually telling me that man tells you something as dumb as that, and you actually believe it?
The $50 million and excuse me.
I can tell you the Golden Gate Bridge.
The $50 million on condoms was true. The country of destination was wrong, which was later corrected. So why is the United States spending $50 million on condoms for any other country?
Okay, let's put it to the point. Let me just say it right out. We should not be spending $50 million worth of condoms. But you got to think about it. The situation doesn't make sense. You can't make bombs out of condoms.
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna let him go because we're not gonna talk about how to do those kind of things on the radio. We're late for our bottom of the hour break. He's lost his mind. If you're on hold, stand by. It's a Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Back after this. The phones are ringing off the hook. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh, man, some good calls today. I'm going to play the clip when we get back. I'll play it to you guys now during the break, but this is the condom comment. I'm going to play this on the radio when we get back. Okay, now I'll play the rest of it when we get back. So we sent $50 million in condoms to Mozambique. Why are we sending $50 million in condoms to Mozambique? Right? Why? Why? I have to look at where they are in Africa. Mozambique is on the east coast of Africa. It's right. It's right across the water from Madagascar. We'll be back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes, we'll be back. If you're on hold, hang in there. I don't know what the rate is, but, you know, It's not up to us to give all the guys there condoms. Are they that out of control? Give me a break. It's not our responsibility. I wouldn't be sure it was to stop the spread of AIDS. Somebody got paid for doing that. And how do we know the condoms even got there? Maybe that's just what it said on the books. I'll be right back, guys. I thought that might be my delivery, but it's not. Salesman at the door. See, I got a notification on my doorbell camera. I'm like, who was that guy? It was put something on my doorknob. But he was dressed in like fluorescent stuff. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Call us on hold, stand by. So the $50 million in condoms went to Mozambique, which is in West Africa, way down south, right across the water from Madagascar. I don't know, what's that body of water between Africa and Madagascar called? I don't know. But why are we sending $50 million in condoms anywhere, especially there? And for those that say HIV prevention, how do we know the condoms even got there? I mean, this is just insane. All right, let's go back to our phones. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. It's Joanne from Tamarack.
Hey, Joanne.
I would just like to mention to the gentleman who was freaking out about the condoms and how they make bombs. I have not heard President Trump say that, but I did see it on the news. And what they do is
we're not going to tell people how to do stuff like that, okay?
No.
No. What? I mean, are you out of your mind? I mean, come on, think. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Matt from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I was calling because I have this question. I've seen this a few places and stuff, and I didn't know much about it. It's the Trump and Melania doing the meme coin or whatever, and I'm not sure why that's a bad thing or what they were doing with that.
Because the media hate Donald Trump and they hate Melania, and whatever they do, they're going to criticize it.
Right. Well, but what? I guess because I've seen it on some of.
It's called Trump. It's called Trump. It's called Trump derangement syndrome. Trump can do no right with those people.
Sure. Yeah, I feel like everything that comes up that they can criticize, they'll criticize.
Well, no, here's what's going on. Okay, I'm not into crypto. Okay, we got William. Right. I like the gold, the silver. You can hold it in your hand. Crypto, I don't. No, I'm not into. However, it's a big thing. And what President Trump has said about cryptocurrencies is this. It's a thing. It's going to be no matter what. And he wants it based here in the United States, not in some Russian republic or China or some place in another part of the world. So he's embraced the crypto stuff, even got his own meme coin, not to make money or anything, but he wants the crypto people to be doing it in this country. To what do they call it?
Yeah.
Making those coins, whatever that racket is. He wants them doing that here.
Mining.
The mining, yes. He wants them to do the mining here, because he wants business. Everything President Trump is doing is to bring business here. Like he signed this executive order on tariffs on steel and aluminum. He wants steel and aluminum made here. He wants all things made in America, whether it's cryptocurrency mining or steel and aluminum or Nikes. So everything he's doing is to encourage businesses to do business in America.
Which I'm all for. I just didn't understand the meme coin thing because they're saying Melania, I guess, made her own or something.
I don't know why they did it. I don't know. It was a funny thing. I was at a Trump speech. Well, I don't want to get into that. But anyway, appreciate the call. All right, take care. I don't want to get sidetracked on crypto. But I do want to play the audio from the press conference yesterday. This is a reporter with a funny accent. It's Elon Musk and the president in the Oval Office, and she brings up the condoms, and he explains the whole thing, Elon. No, it doesn't make sense. And I love this. When you heard a little shh, that was Trump's annoyance. He went shh. His mic picked it up and he's moving his head like, well, this is insane. He's so annoyed with this woman. Did you hear that shh? Exactly. Yeah, that's a good question. Why are we sending 50 million in condoms anywhere? And how do we know the condoms are even there? It wasn't some racket. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, once, twice. All right, you did not make it. Okay, we'll go here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's John, and I'm calling from Okeechobee, Florida.
Oh, I used to live there. I used to live there.
I work for an egg distributor company, and so does my wife.
Yeah.
The largest one in the United States.
Yes.
Every day, Publix gets fresh eggs. They come out of the chicken one day, the next day they go to Publix. When Dixie, Aldi's, BJ's come from the same company. The only difference is Publix gets their eggs personally delivered from the company that I work for.
I was once talking to I appreciate the call. I was once talking to this, a lot of the eggs come from Okeechobee, there's no doubt. And I was talking to this guy once. He was a truck driver who drove the eggs from Okeechobee here to South Florida. And they did not smell, they smelled like farm people. It was a big semi-truck. And I remember that guy told me he drove 100 hours a week delivering eggs from Okeechobee. It was pretty interesting. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, good morning, Brian. Craig, hold on. I have to pause your video.
Yes.
There we are. I was just saying, Elon just kind of explained it. I was thinking that possibly, and obviously that the names that they're sending to, like Raindrops Dripping Down Windows Fund, are just
Raindrops dripping down windows. Yeah, give me a break.
Yeah, they're just names to put on something to the maybe 2 or 3 people.
Sounds like they ran out of names. It sounds like they ran out. Maybe those are codes. Who is Raindrops Dripping Down the Window? Let's identify who that is.
See who'll win the race.
Yeah, exactly. Johnny has a long mustache. Anybody remember that one? Johnny has a long mustache. Anyone know what that's from?
No, oh my gosh.
Somebody will know.
I'm so
People
excited
know.
though. I hope he cleans it up. I was watching about the animal cruelty that Fauci is funding and all. It's just horrible. But so yeah, when you hear those weird transgender whatever they're sending them to, it's not that.
Well, the thing about
places that
listen,
hide
my guess would be that $50 million or $50 million in condoms did not go to Mozambique. How many people are there? It's and how many condoms is that? And how you know what I'm talking about? And if they can't, are the men that out of control in Mozambique? Come on.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about AIDS, this is the thing about AIDS, okay? AIDS is not what it used to be. And what I mean by that is a lot of this AIDS funding, like when Elon was talking about these people getting Social Security checks every month that are 150 years old, they found a lot of them. These AIDS funds were set up a long time ago when there was an AIDS crisis. And people forget, when AIDS was new, it was pretty scary. There was no treatment. All you knew is people that got it died real quick. And it was really scary. And AIDS became an industry. AIDS charities became an industry. And I'm not saying AIDS is not deadly and all that stuff, but it's not like it used to be. There's treatments for it. People can live a long life with it. Back in those days, they didn't. And I remember when I was younger and AIDS was new, it was really scary. Right? I remember Ryan White and all that. So a lot of these things that they say, oh, well, it's for AIDS relief. Oh, that's okay. No, that's a scam. We know about the transmission of AIDS. It is very difficult for a man and a woman through normal heterosexual sex to transmit AIDS to one another. It's very difficult. I'm not saying it cannot happen, but it's very rare and very difficult. That's not how AIDS is typically transmitted. I'm not going to get into the details. You guys know. So a lot of these AIDS charities that are getting boatloads, literally, of cash from the USAID and other government resources, it's a racket. It's a total scam, and it needs to all be evaluated.
Yes, they said, speaking of AIDS, they were saying that they were testing on the monkeys and other animals for AIDS, but because genetically we're human and they're animals, it doesn't spread the same, so it's all just a waste.
Well, whatever, but I don't believe, it's one of the biggest rackets and AIDS gets too much money from other charities. It's become it's like all the celebrities with the ribbons on their suits at all the award ceremonies. AIDS gets too much money over other conditions and diseases than it should today. Now, years ago, that was different because we didn't know about it. There were no treatments. People got it and they were dead. But now, people live a long time with HIV and AIDS. It's not the crisis that it once was. And the condoms in Mozambique, I mean, come on. What do they got? Are they sending them clean hypodermic needles too? I mean, come on, give me a break. All right, I got to run, but I appreciate the call. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Okay, we'll be back in less than a minute. I'm just answering my text. I get a lot of text messages from people during the show. Oh, I got to cue something up, though. Hold on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Bob from Jupiter.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, I don't know how much you got to see because it's kind of late at night when the prisoner got released.
Mm-hmm.
He said something right, and they kind of like shut him up. But he said he had a 400 injection. Do you have any insight on that? What were they injecting him with?
Who knows? I don't know. But, I'll tell you, why are Americans traveling around with, what did he have, CBD?
Yeah, and he had hashish oil too. Yeah, that was just stupid, wasn't it? I mean, come on.
Listen, when you're traveling at all, you shouldn't be bringing that stuff, especially internationally. And
100%,
and he got himself jammed up just like that gargantuan lady basketball player did, and she got out because she's a black woman and Biden doesn't like white guys. But the guy got himself jammed up. Why do you? I'm glad he's back and President Trump saved him, but don't travel around with CBD to other countries.
Well, there's a big backstory on that too that we'll never know. But he's apparently a school teacher. What's he doing?
I don't know, but I know this is what I know. I don't know about this guy. I'm not talking about this guy in particular. Okay. But in most of these instances, like North Korea and Russia, most of them probably are spies. When you see an American arrested in Iran or North Korea suspected of spying, they're probably a spy. And in Russia, there's a good chance too. It's not as highly likely in Russia because that's an open country. Well, maybe not as open as it was because of the Ukraine war. But if someone gets arrested in North Korea or Iran and they say they're a CIA spy, they probably are. And if they are accused of that in Russia, they might be. This guy, I don't think so, because a spy wouldn't be going around with CBD. They would know better.
Yeah, it's bizarre. One other thing, other than prayers for Steve's wife, one other thing that I have a cousin out of the Marines who's over in Ukraine now as a mercenary, making really good money. And I asked him what it's like over there, and he goes, there's no Ukrainians, there's no Russians. He goes, it's all foreign people fighting foreign people for money.
Well, there's a lot of North Korean soldiers fighting in Ukraine for Russia. But a lot of people don't realize this, but Germany had Koreans fighting for them in the Second World War. There were Koreans in Normandy. People don't, I don't know why the Koreans, man, they go all over. But who's your relative that's fighting as a mercenary?
I have a cousin. He's an ex-Marine. He got out of the Marine Corps. Couldn't find a job. He's working at Walmart, and they pay him really good money to go over to Ukraine and offer him a job over there.
Well, what did he do in the Marine Corps? Infantry, probably, right?
He was a slug. Yeah. The kid's not exactly the smartest kid in the world, but he's a good kid.
The military, let me tell you, the military doesn't prepare people for civilian life very often. Don't believe that recruiter stuff because. I know there's exceptions to it, but for the most part, I don't think it prepares you. When you say he's making a lot of money as a mercenary in Ukraine, what's a lot of money?
6 figures, cash.
Cash money? They pay him like a six-figure.
Cash money, 6-figure income, and 6-figure income cash. A kid 22 is not. Where's a kid 22 going to make?
Wait a minute. It's 6 figures a year, or does he get paid, or is it like?
6 figures a year.
Well, okay. Well, that's vague. 100, 200. How many 6 figures?
Yeah, I didn't pin him down, but I think it's about 10 grand a month. Cash.
10 grand a month, and is he fighting? Is he fighting the Russian mercenaries?
He says he's never seen a Russian. He says he's seen everything else.
But is he in combat, or is he like He's in
combat.
That's
and
crazy.
He's in combat, and he's never seen a Ukrainian yet.
I mean, is that really worth it? I know $10,000 a month's more than he was making at Walmart, but to be in combat, that's crazy.
It's insane. It's insane, but they get these kids that low education, that no real future. If he can send home $10,000 a month, and he figures he can do it for a couple of years and survive.
Does he wear a uniform? What uniform does he wear?
You know what? When he comes home, I'd love to call you and put him on.
Do you know how? Do you know? Oh, you don't know? Do you know how he got the job? Do you know how he got the job?
It's a soldier of fortune. I guess they talk, these Marine guys, when they get dumped out of the Marines. He finished his 4 years. When he got out, he really couldn't find a job. He's sputtering around and making minimum wage. Whatever. He's from a small town in North Carolina, and it's like, hey, I can go there and be somebody and.
Well, you know that the Trump assassin, the man that tried to shoot President Trump at the golf course, he was trying to recruit American military to be mercenaries in Ukraine. That's what he was doing.
There's a lot of guys over there, and they're from all different countries, and they're not from there, but they're all soldiers of fortune. So I'm assuming, he didn't tell me this, but I'm assuming some guys from third world countries and stuff that have no chance of making any real money.
So is the family like really worried about him, or everyone's like, okay, whatever?
No, of course the family's really worried about him. But that's what he wanted to do. He loved the Marine Corps. He was disillusioned by it after he did the.
How long was he in the Marines?
4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, right after he got out, he went right over there.
So you know what I wonder is he like in a platoon of mercenaries, or is he like with Ukrainian officers and things? Do you know?
He says he doesn't see any Ukrainians.
None.
So I'm dying to get with if he makes it back home. But now in his family, there's another one that he's back home, but he was in Basra as a soldier of fortune. I think that's probably how he got hooked up with him. But he was in Basra as a soldier of fortune, and he was making over $100,000 cash. It was 11 months. They signed up for 11 months, and it's a cash deal too. And for a 22, 23-year-old kid from a small town in North Carolina, if they can make $100,000 cash for 11 months of duty, they take it because they have no future in the U.S.
Well,
So
obviously it depends on what you do in the service, but from people I've known, the military does not prepare you for civilian life. You're not. What do you learn? Because most people, especially the Marines, are in the infantry. So what do you learn? That's practical in civilian life, and there's not a lot. It's sad because the recruiters are lying.
And with these young kids, it's a macho thing to go over there, and they're going to go make money, and they're going to, you know what I mean? It's kind of a thing, they think it's a big deal.
Well, let me tell you, when you get updates, call me and let me know if you get any updates, because I'm fascinated to know, and hopefully he makes it back.
Yeah. At my age, I'm a couple clicks past you, and at your age, $100,000 is not a big deal. Like, who cares? But for a kid that's in his early 20s, that's a lot of money, especially cash. You can't make that or save that anywhere else.
Well, right? If I had a child that was going to do something like that, I would do everything in my power to. I would buy my child a house if it would keep them from going to do that.
100%.
Because and I'll tell you why. Because I'm not talking about the military of the United States. I'm talking about being a mercenary for Ukraine. Because listen, Zelensky is a gangster. He's a dictator. His term of president is over, and he won't have an election. And if, God forbid, something happens to you, what's your relation to him again? I know you told me. I forgot. How are you related?
He's my cousin.
Okay,
cousin.
So God forbid something. God forbid something happens to your cousin. He may never. His remains may never even be back here. And what's he fighting for? $100,000? I mean,
I get it. I understand it. But I also see, in a strange way, I also see his point. Like when I'm up in North Carolina, I'm going to work at Walmart the rest of my life, or I can be a.
Well, why didn't he? Certainly has. He certainly had veterans benefits. He could have gotten education, and I don't necessarily mean a college education. He could have done that, but he could have gone and learned how to do air conditioning repair or become a diesel mechanic. You know what I mean? His veterans benefits would avail him to unlimited jobs beyond Walmart. I wish he would have done that. All right. Hey, listen, appreciate the call.
Thank you.
All right. That's really a sad call. I'm glad he did call with that, but that's really sad because what's he fighting for? Boy, oh boy. I want to tell you guys, the free shipping with all orders at MyPillow continues with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You know, there's huge savings, as much as 80% off some of the most popular MyPillow products going on right now with our promo code Kane. And on top of the huge sales price, you also get free shipping on all orders. And by the way, there's no requirements for that. No matter how small the order is, it's free shipping with our promo code Kane at checkout. And the specials are on some of the most popular and some of my favorite MyPillow products. You know, other than the pillows, I was talking to my wife the other day about this. If I could only have one MyPillow product other than the pillows, because that's life-changing, what would it be if I could only have one other one? And it would be the 6-piece MyPillow towel set, which are less than $30 right now, and free shipping. Those towels are amazing, and when Mike Lindell says towels that actually work, what a concept, he means it. So use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, free shipping site-wide at MyPillow.com on all orders with our promo code Kane at checkout. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Mike Jones. I was just listening to your show, and I'm listening to you and other gentlemen go back and forth. And I'm just trying to figure out, I keep hearing y'all say things that y'all not speaking facts.
Pick one of the things that I said that wasn't factual and we'll talk.
I mean, because you said anytime I assume something, I heard the word assume, and I think, and those aren't based in facts. That's just opinion.
No, I have that when I give my when I give my opinion, I'm giving an educated opinion on what I'm talking about.
But that's your opinion. That's not facts.
Pick something I said. Pick a specific I said, and we'll.
Because you say a lot of things.
Well, pick one.
But that's not a fact.
Pick one. That's not necessarily true. That is not necessarily true. Give me an example.
That is true.
Give me a specific example of something I've said that's inaccurate.
I mean, a lot of things.
Well, pick one. If I say so,
I can think that you're admitting that. Don't make it true.
If I say so many things that are wrong, certainly you can nail me on just one. One must stand out to you.
Excuse me. What is
I say if so many things I say is wrong, I only have 20 seconds till the break. But if so many things I say is wrong, certainly one must come to mind.
You're not giving nobody any facts, sir.
Give me an example of something I said that's not factual. Give me something I've said that's not. Give me an example.
That's an opinion. Everything they do.
Okay, all right. I appreciate the call. What I'm saying is not factual, but he can't think of anything I said that's not a fact. Oh boy, I think what he's saying is not factual. This is the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll take our top of the hour break and be back. Oh boy. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We're at our top of the hour break on the radio. Okay, stand by. We've got just over a minute, and we will be back. And by the way, guys, just so you know, my wife has made these really super cool Trump stickers. My wife made these. Aren't they awesome? And you can get them on her website, stickersbythesea.com. You get 2 sheets for $10. And they are, there's a link in the description of the video to the store, stickersbythesea.com. You can go directly there. And this is the website. And then you scroll down and you see them right there. And she'll be adding more Trump stickers too, but you get these 2 sheets for $10. Stickersbythesea.com. All right. My wife made these. They're pretty cool, pretty nice. Order yours. $30 seconds. And then I'm going to go through the Elon stuff. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. The third hour has begun. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. I wish that guy would have called a little later because I was up against the break, but he says what I'm saying is not factual. Everything I'm saying is not factual, but he couldn't think of anything I said that wasn't a fact. You know, those of you that are new to the program, all calls are welcome. You do not have to agree with us to call. You are welcome to call and call us out on the carpet at any time on the program. And all the calls are screenless. When you call in, I just put you on hold. We have a call screening person, but we don't do that. When you call in, you just get put on hold. No one answers the phone. And we do that on purpose. And the reason we do that is, gives you a little extra chance to maybe try to catch us. Makes the show much more interesting. And so you're all welcome to call in. And I don't know everything, but I do tend to know about the things of which I'm speaking of. That's for sure. All right, I want to get to some of this stuff. If you'd like to call in, our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Now, I started at 6 with this, and then we got away from it, so I want to get back on topic here. The Oval Office press conference with President Trump and Elon Musk yesterday was one of the most historic press conferences in the history of the presidential press conference. I'm here to tell you. I believe that is going to go down in history because the 3 most famous people on earth are Putin, Trump, and Elon. Those are the 3 most famous people on earth. And they're not like famous because of, a movie or a singing career. Those people are forgotten. They're famous because of world affairs. And Elon Musk sends spaceships to space, right? He's going to be sending people to Mars and the moon. And he sends rockets up in space almost every day of the week. And he's about to rescue these astronauts that Biden marooned on the space station. And he's also the richest man on Earth and the richest man who's ever lived. And I want you to think about this. When you have someone that is that successful financially, their time and expert opinions and analysis are valuable. When I talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas, I talk to you about how he's one of the top financial retirement planning experts in the world. He's part of that $1 Million Roundtable, which fewer than 1% of financial advisors in the world are accepted to. And he offers free consultations. Joe Thomas, his time and his knowledge is very valuable, and he offers that to you for free with a free phone consultation. That's an amazing thing, and that's who you want. You want to call someone like that to get their expert opinion. In fact, let me give Joe Thomas's number out while I'm doing this. But, when somebody has expertise and they're tops in their field, their opinion and their analysis of a situation is incredibly valuable. You want to call Joe Thomas and talk to him about annuities. You know, with annuities, your money's safe and you can earn income in your retirement for the rest of your life. I was asking Joe Thomas a couple weeks ago this question, and he gave me an amazing answer. I said, what's the difference between one of your clients who's a high net worth individual and someone who is like retired from retail? And he said it's the same. Everybody wants another revenue stream, more income. And that's what you get with an annuity. Give Joe Thomas a call. Take advantage of this no-charge consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website. It's easy to remember, jupiterjoe.com. Okay, so let's go back to another successful man. That's Elon Musk. So think about this. Not only is Elon Musk the richest man in the world, his businesses are incredible. Every liberal in the world loved him not long ago because of Tesla. You know? And now all of a sudden he's the biggest victim. When you have the richest man in the world who is self-made through his genius, and he puts together teams of geniuses for every task he tries to set his mind to accomplish, and he's offering his time and expertise for free to an executive, in this case, the chief executive of the United States, the president. You want them to come in, and you want their advice. And he's going through the financials, and it's whacked out. Listen to this. This is Elon in the Oval Office yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. And then he goes on to say a little later, they should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. So how are people 150 years old receiving Social Security checks? And the media, who's just incredibly angry at Elon Musk, you know, what I was wondering, what are all these people with Teslas, all these bleeding heart liberals with their Teslas? They think Elon's Hitler. They're driving around Hitler's car? Is that what they're doing? No, I don't think so. I mean, they loved him not that long ago. There's a story here. What's happening to that money every month? How many dead people are being paid by Social Security every month? Who's getting that money, and what's it being used for? The press are not interested in knowing. All they want to know is, how can we get Elon Musk out of this? And the media are very selfish because the federal government, we found through USAID, has been fronting the fake news liberal media. You know, it's been a big mystery for decades. Sean Hannity, on his radio show, often says, he said this since I've heard of him, we're here every day combating liberal media bias. Rush, I used to hear Rush say this a lot. Rush used to say, the media is the only business that thinks they know more than the customer. And if the customer doesn't get what they're doing, well, they're just not smart enough, and they continue. Now we know the secret. The secret is the media, the mainstream corporate media, don't care about revenue or customers because the USAID has been funding all of it. They don't need an audience. They don't need to be commercially viable. They're not businesses. They're propaganda for the deep state because USAID is CIA. That's it. That's a big secret. You know, we all miss Rush Limbaugh, but I sure would love to hear his analysis of this USAID funding of the fake news media. Oh man, I'd give anything to hear Rush Limbaugh's analysis of that, wouldn't you? It would be glorious. And Elon went on to say something. Now, this next clip, there's a bunch of them, but these are the two that really stood out to me. This one is the one that has everybody in Washington in a panic. Again, this is from the Oval Office presser with the president and Elon yesterday.
ostensibly a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow managed to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth, but while they are, you know, what happened to USAID, we're just curious as to where it came from. Maybe they're very good at investing. Maybe they should take their investment advice perhaps. But just there seems to be mysteriously they get. I think the reality is that they're getting wealthier to touch. That's the honest truth of it. So,
Okay, so this is amazing. Now remember, he said people working for the bureaucracy that earn six figures a year but live the lifestyle of millionaires, they're going to investigate that. They're not talking about, Elon's not talking about members of Congress. They got their own scam going. He's talking about people that work for the different, like Department of Transportation and these different agencies, and they live like millionaires on a government salary. He wants to look into that. You don't think that people in Washington are not terrified hearing that? That is huge. There's so much crime going on in D.C., including these people that the president keeps referencing that have been working at home and not doing their government job, but working another job that they're getting paid for. So they're double dipping and they're stealing money from the federal government. There is fraud being done in this workforce like no one's business. And this right here that Elon just talked about, how are they living like millionaires on a government salary? There are people in Washington that are physically ill this morning because they're scared, because they're finally going to get caught.
Oh, hey, it's Joan from Tampa Bay.
Hey, Joan. All right, Joan.
There's 6.5 million people receiving Social Security checks over the age of 112, and there's only 64 people in the entire world that are over 112.
So they say, and a lot of those people that say they're over 112 are from these weirdo countries, and we don't really know that that's true.
Yeah, and well, to be that old in those countries, they really didn't keep birth records well.
That's right.
They went by baptismal records or things like
Exactly.
that. You know.
So there's nobody that old. There's nobody 150. There's just not. There's a lot of fraud. A lot of fraud.
Yeah,
so, but the question is, where's the money going? Where's the money going, and who's getting it?
Collecting, that's a lot of money.
Well, some of these people are. I assume, Social Security checks are direct deposited now, right? These people are so old, and that scam has been going for so long, there might be physical checks going out to people that are 100.
No, Social Security does not send out physical checks anymore.
Not at all?
People receiving the money had to set up some kind of a payment card.
There you have it.
Bank account.
But these, what's curious, like say these people that are 150, Social Security is not yet 100 years old, right? So they've been receiving Social Security for 50, 85 years maybe. So almost since the beginning. You understand what I mean? If they got it at 65.
And they also found out that many people's Social Security numbers are being run and receiving funds.
Yeah, we know that, but you don't want to get too many balls in it. The media, they're so angry at Elon. What I would want to know from Elon, can you give us a list of who these 150-year-old people are? We want to find them. Let's find out who they are, and let's go to the location that they say they live and find out who is really there. And I would not be. There's got. I would like.
Want to know where the money's going.
There's got to be an address connected to it.
And if there are, if all that money is not going to the, in the trash to people that don't deserve it, maybe they can up the people that do receive it now.
Well, who knows who's receiving it? It could be. It could be corrupt government officials. It could be. Who knows? It could be their descendants. I don't know. But that money is being sent to people, maybe direct deposited. They do send out checks, Social Security, in certain circumstances.
No, they don't do that anymore.
They do. They can. And these people have been on it for a long time. Listen, you can't get Social Security at 150, and you can. There's a way to trace this, and the media, they're not even interested. If I were a reporter with Fox, I would want this story because this is a huge story. If you could get from Elon, go with his go with his team, because what they need to do is they need to send federal agents out. So you want to be embedded with federal agents that are visiting the addresses connected to the people that are over 150 years old getting Social Security and find out who's there. They would do that. And now one member of the media has even brought that up because they got Trump derangement syndrome and they can't even compute.
Like 6.5 million people.
Yeah.
Well, they're not people, they're deceased. I mean, really.
Maybe they never existed. Who knows? All right, got to run. We'll take our break and be back. Hey, Barry, it's Brian. Hey, I'm going to put you on hold, all right? All right. Okay, stand by. If you're on hold, hang in there. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Good morning, Barry Siegel.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
I'm doing great. What do you have for us this morning?
This morning, I wanted to talk about some of the special people that we have in our families, and special in many ways. But one of the things, sometimes we have people in our lives that have what are called special needs. And those special needs can be physical or mental types of conditions or disorders that either where they are currently receiving government benefits because of that special need, or they could be in a position where they may need such benefits in the future. And many of these government benefits are needs-based. You have to have, there's a certain threshold for the amount of assets that you can have, and each type of benefit is different, but typically if somebody with special needs who is receiving government benefits receives an inheritance, that could get them kicked off of those benefits because now they exceed those asset thresholds.
Yeah.
So planning that can be done, if you're planning to leave anything to a child or a grandchild, a loved one who has a special need, and if they're on government benefits, or as I said, or if there's a likelihood of them needing it in the future, you could leave them an inheritance, but you need to leave it to them in what's called a special needs trust. And we could set it up so that upon your passing, your trust will pass on the assets to this person in a trust, and it would be for their benefit, and you would have a third-party trustee, somebody that you trust who can step in and handle everything for that special needs beneficiary. So if you have someone in your life where you think that's a concern, that's something that we should talk about and it's something we can help you with.
Absolutely, and that's more common than people realize. And I bet you a lot of people, they get really nervous as they grow older that these special needs situations won't be addressed properly. But call the Siegel Law Group and they will. Now remember, it is always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program, all right? And no matter where you are in the state of Florida, the Siegel Law Group can help. Here's the number, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week.
All right, Brian, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we are back. I'm going to go right to the phones, which are pretty busy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Justin from Georgia.
Are you sure about that? You don't sound too sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, it just took a while to get it out. You said,
Yeah, I just woke up.
Oh, you called me. What's on your mind?
Who do you think was behind the Capitol riot in...
Well, Open Phones is on Friday. Open Phones is on Friday. But I'll tell you who wasn't behind it. Donald Trump had nothing to do with it.
Oh, I know that because I voted for him. So,
Great. All right, I appreciate the call. Open Phones is on Friday. The other days, you got to kind of stick to what we're doing. All right, but he's just waking up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Chris from Pompano Beach.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, good, great show. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, again, it's a big puzzle, and it's much worse than it is because you got to remember they won't take those 150-year-old seniors still getting money off the voter rolls either. So they need those votes to steal elections, and you know when they have the opportunity.
I don't think it's for that.
My wife.
I don't think it's for that. I think it's somebody. I think the number. I'm not sure if the 6 million number is true. Okay, but and the reason, by the way, that the voter registration is done at the state, not the federal level, and you need no people in Florida. We get mail-in ballots for dead parents and grandparents all the time, but no, so that's a way to steal money from the government.
No, exactly. 100%. That's what I'm saying. It's a big picture. It's some of it. I was, like you said, state. Because my wife, you know, her last job before she passed, she was a city clerk and official voters registrar and all that. Anytime you bring up purging rolls, which you're supposed to do every few years, and taking dead people off rolls, combination with, again, Social Security, her and her mother had a joint account prior to her mother passing.
They do check, yes. That's one of the ways they check. But if people will tell you, this is a big, in Florida, we have the oldest population. So, when someone passes, Social Security knows before some of the relatives know that the person's dead. They know quick. I don't know how they know so quick, but they know quick when someone's died. And, and there's all kinds of things that immediately go into effect. So this is a calculated way to steal money from the government. These 150-year-old people.
100%, and it's criminal. Like you said, FBI, everybody should be involved, but in cahoots. So,
well, the press. Here, Elon Musk. They got the whole press in there, except the AP that Trump wouldn't let in because they won't say Gulf of America. But the whole press is in there, and they're pissed off at Elon Musk. None of them want to know. Can you give us a list of these people so we can go find out who's at these addresses? We'll go with you with the agent. I guess they would send Treasury agents. So we want to be embedded with the Treasury agents visiting the addresses where these 150-year-old people are listed as living. Let's find out who's. No, they're like, who do you think you are, President Musk? These people are sick.
Amazing, isn't it? And they'll nickel and dime us taxpayers with audits left and right. But it's amazing. But I'm glad. I mean, listen, we're just scratching the surface, and more to come. And I hope it comes quick and fast with so much time for them.
Yeah, me too. All right, I got to run, Chris, but thanks for the call. If you're on hold, hang in there. I want to tell you guys about Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. You know, you guys know, he's rid me of pain 7 times, and so many of you listeners in this audience have been relieved of your pain from Dr. Appleton, too. His laser wave pain treatment works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. Acute and chronic pain, herniated discs, rotary tears, plantar fasciitis, which I understand is incredibly uncomfortable, fibromyalgia, spinal stenosis, sciatica, tinnitus, knee conditions, neck injuries, back injuries, post-surgical swelling, repetitive motion injuries, sprains, strains, work injuries, sports injuries, bursitis, arthritis. It's a very incomplete list there. I meet listeners, when we were at Wings Plus, I met maybe 10, 12 guys telling me how they've been rid of pain. And they always show me their hip, their shoulder, their knees. Anytime I go see Dr. Appleton, it's like a personal appearance for me because I run into so many of our listeners, and they all have the same experience. They feel so much better. They're pain-free. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara in Baltimore in the snow. I just thought I'd give you a call and tell you that they know exactly where the people are. Social Security numbers, the first 3 numbers are usually the same for people in close areas, but the first 3 numbers represents the location where people live. And what's going to be the big surprise is the people that have been really stealing the money are not on the beach houses. See, they're in the Smoky Mountains. They've got those mansions that you don't see in the woods and stuff. They live in large, and they are all panicking right now. Yes, they are. And I don't believe that President Trump should stop anything.
I don't know why you say that. Wait a minute. When you say the mountains, who do you think's getting the money?
The employees. They're going to find some of those employees who work. Oh, please! They're the ones who put the numbers in.
Well, the one like the people that are dead, 150 years old, 120 years old. Okay, we don't. There's a lot of them. They've been collecting.
That's something that has to be handed down in a family. See, somebody in the family.
Really? Oh, okay.
I am about to lay something on you that you probably forgot about, but when I tell you. And that's Obama. Obama's first 3 numbers of his birth certificate are 041. That is not Hawaii. See, that story died too. And Ron Isley of the Isley brothers, you remember him? Ow!
So wait a minute. So you're saying what you're saying? Hold on. You're getting all. What you're saying is interesting, but what you're saying is the dead people getting Social Security. You think great grandma, great great grandma, and great great grandpa died, and they've been handing down the money for 100 years, 80 years.
Well, look, if you can't see that, I probably am smart enough to go tell Elon Musk, let me get on the team, because that's the only way it could be perpetuated. It's got to be generational. Because, like I said, I'm in the tax business. Your Social Security number is everything. The first 3 numbers, and I know that because I do taxes.
Well, it's also Barbara. It's also possible these are people that never existed, and there's some type of government corruption to fund certain people or something. All these checks could be going to the same entity.
That's how the scam is done, and we'll see where it lands. Elon Musk is on it, and President Trump needs to tell these judges to stuff it. They clowned him with all those sham cases and stuff, and he doesn't even need to say anything to them.
That's right.
We're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing this.
All right, listen, Barbara, I got to run, but you added something to it. Now, she thinks what Barbara said, and to sum it up, that was pretty interesting what Barbara just said. Barbara believes that there are families where the grandparents died decades ago. They've kept the money coming in. She thinks they're in the mountains where there aren't death records. And families have been handing down generationally this Social Security money. And it gets bigger and bigger. That's possible, but I think it's something much more devious than that, because I don't think someone would be able just to get away with that easy. I would, there may be some of that, but I'm thinking a lot of it is some type of government corruption to fund certain people or certain things that they don't want us to know about. But you know what? Elon Musk and DOGE are going to find out. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. I'm Brian Craig. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back. Okay, now this is a very unusual thing. I talked about this before the show. I did a stream. I'm at my home studio, obviously, today, and my dryer is supposed to be here in 4 minutes. They texted me, and the radio station out of the break is going to go to a best of while I coordinate with the dryer people. So I'm going to leave the stream going. I got to go do a couple things to prepare for them, make some room for them to bring the dryer in, and then when they get here, I'll go back out and help them. But don't, if you're on hold, hang in there. I'll be back in a minute or a couple of minutes. Okay, guys. So I am back. I'm going to take some of these calls because what's on the radio now is a best of, because I had to get things ready and get the guys in. So I got a couple free minutes until I got to go talk to them again. So you're getting kind of like a behind the scenes of the program. But let me take some of these calls. Some of them have been holding. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Dave.
Hey, Dave, what's up?
Yeah, Brian. When I called you and told you about, I thought they were 112 years old, and I told you that was the first time you heard of it. I was just thinking the only time this Social Security ever calls me and sends me anything is when I get it the first of the year in case I have taxes. I get a letter. Or when they have a change because of COLA at the first of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I never get nothing. So if you die, and you send in for that $200 that they send you for your funeral, they would never know when you die.
See, I don't agree with Barbara that this is families handing this down multi-generational. I think these are too far gone for that to just happen. Yeah. There's something more devious at play, and we may never know what it is.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that because I believe they would never know. Social Security would never, if you don't use that death benefit, they would never know you die.
That's right. All right, take care. Appreciate the call. All right, you guys getting behind the scenes here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Never Trumper Steve in beautiful Palm City. How are we doing today?
All right. What's on your mind, Steve?
Want to discuss the press conference yesterday that you brought up, of course, during a good part of your show. Mm-hmm. The symbolism and the factual misstatements made that finally came out was wonderful to see. When I say the misstatements on this $50 million worth of condoms being spent to Hamas in Gaza. That was originally brought up a couple weeks ago. And I remember you and Steve Kane got into a major dissertation on this and how horrible this was. How can we be spending money on this? And finally, a reporter calls out Musk and says, there's no factual evidence to that. And what was Musk's response? Well, always make a misstatement. It's possible, and of course I correct them. He never corrected that statement.
All right, now slow down. You're wrong. He said the story was accurate, the location was wrong, and he said this in the Oval Office. He said they didn't go to Gaza.
That means it's an inaccurate statement. If condoms.
Let me finish. Chill out, man.
Go ahead.
Chill out. He said they went to Mozambique, which is in Southwest Africa, directly across from Madagascar. Why are we sending, it's still a scam. Why are we sending $50 million in condoms anywhere?
Let me help you. I was about to say, and you said, why are we sending it anywhere? Condoms avoid HIV/AIDS. And if we have any humanity in ourselves, if we don't want babies to die in the arms of their mothers who contracted HIV in birth, and by the way, it only
All right, slow down. Slow down. A few things about this, okay? And this is important. Forget about your partisan rhetoric. One, we don't really know that there were condoms sent to Mozambique. We know there's an expenditure for it, and it very likely could have just been a front for someone to take the money. Another thing is...
conspiracy theory. Conspiracy.
Or it could be...
you make stuff up.
Or it could be, or it's corrupt. It's a matter of what the corruption is. Now, so far as AIDS go, it could be a donor that owns condom company. But as far as AIDS, Steve, okay, here's another thing, and this is true. It is very difficult to transmit AIDS through normal heterosexual sex. A lot of back in the day, I was talking about this earlier. Back in the days when AIDS was...
That is not true.
It is true.
That is not true.
It is true. Back in the days when AIDS was, there were no treatments and things, we didn't know as much, and there were no treatments, what you're saying would be more accurate. This is a scam. This condom story, it is true, just the destination was inaccurate. And that's a lot of condoms.
Listen, a condom costs, according to the agency that provides them, 3.5 cents per condom. Let's round it up to 5 cents. divided by $50 million that supposedly was going to Gaza. That means that 1 billion condoms were being sent there, and then of course Trump.
What condoms cost 3 cents?
I'm telling you what the agency said it cost.
Oh, the agency that's been the corrupt. You're talking about USAID. What I'm telling you is
everything corrupt. Listen,
USAID. Yes.
One dead person is 150 years old is getting Social Security.
He didn't say one. He didn't say one.
Social Security for everyone.
He didn't say one. He said there's a bunch.
Why didn't he put on the table at the press conference who this person was? If you're dead, you have no privacy rights
because they're investigating. I'll tell you what. Slow down, Steve.
Come on the air
Steve,
and you bring it up
I'm going to hang up. I'm going to stop getting hysterical. Okay? Are you okay? Listen, they're investigating.
You got to let me get a word in.
You won't stop talking and yelling. They're investigating.
Go ahead.
They're investigating.
Go ahead.
They're not going to just release a name and dox someone. They're investigating these people. And then
don't bring it up until you get the facts after you've done the investigation. That's all I'm saying.
They brought up. They know that there are people. It's not one person. There's a whole bunch. Okay, and there's millions of people that are over the age of 110. They've said. Okay, so they're investigating to find out if these are real people, if they're alive, if they're dead. If who's getting the money. When the investigation's over, they'll start giving us the names.
Afterwards, don't bring up a statement on the condoms. And by the way, how does he know people in agencies? How do they become millionaires? Is he getting into their personal records?
Yes.
I mean, there's various reasons why people have money on the side.
They're going to audit them.
They could have an inheritance, whatever it is.
They're going to audit them.
I mean, here's the thing.
What are you worried about? What are you scared about?
I'm worried
You're
about
hysterical.
Killing agencies. We have the Consumer Protection Board that he wants to kill. Okay?
What?
Your listeners have benefited by that agency where billions of dollars have been returned to
the
people
problem.
who have been
Listen,
defrauded.
Steve. The problem is we know for a fact that there's a lot of corruption through the USAID. We found it was there. It's been documented. Okay, and if there's and so far as these people, there are many people who are living according to Elon, who are living the life of millionaires who only earn a six-figure government salary. I doubt they all are stock geniuses or inherited the millions. Who's going to inherit? Excuse me. Who's going to inherit millions of dollars and work in a cubicle at some government agency? That doesn't even make sense.
I don't know, but
no
it's
one.
Congress's responsibility to decide where money goes, not the executive branch. That is why we're going to
these are people that work for the executive branch that are committing fraud, and it is his duty as the chief executive to fire people and root out people that are stealing from the boss.
The bottom line is Republican Congress people do not want U.S. aid killed.
Really, you speak for Republicans now?
Republicans. Well, listen, our Secretary of State loved USAID until he got this Secretary of State job. All of a sudden, he turns 360 degrees. Why? Why is that? For a dozen years, he loved USAID. How about the part of that is giving food to the poorest of the poor so that we can get our foot to remain in these countries. And if we withdraw, then the Russians and the Chinese.
I'm worried. Excuse me. It's not our duty and responsibility to give rubbers to Mozambique. I'm sorry. Keep it zipped.
Want them to get AIDS?
No, I want them to keep it zipped. I want them to keep it zipped.
That's unrealistic.
Really?
With
Why do you and I not have AIDS?
We're not the poorest of the poor.
Oh, you mean you're smarter? You're smarter than Africans. You're more intelligent than Africans in Mozambique.
No, the poorest of the poor are not smart. They don't.
Even the poor people aren't smart. Oh, so they're not smart in Africa. Very revealing, Never Trumper Steve. He said people in Africa aren't as smart as he is. Oh, wow! Isn't that something? So you guys, this is behind the scenes. I let the guys in and got them set up with my dryer they're delivering. There's a best of running on the radio the last 20 minutes of the show. That's why I had to leave for like 10 minutes, but we're back. I got a couple minutes, so I got to go back out. You're on You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Maggie. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Megan.
Hi. I wanted to mention, I've handled 3 different people who've died and handled their estates. My husband, my friend of decades, and her daughter. And Social Security knows you are dead before you're even cold.
Yes,
Believe me.
they do.
The banks know you're dead.
Everybody.
Everything stops. They know. You don't need to send in for the $200 death benefit or any of that
No.
crap. They know you're dead.
Yeah, it's amazing. They know before family knows. Oftentimes, before before everyone's notified.
They
yeah.
do.
I don't know.
Believe me, they know.
I don't know
So,
how, but they
there's
do.
no getting over on the government when it comes to anything like that.
So what would be
Not
your
with the
guess?
Technology that we have today
what would-
and the computer capacity to be able to track all this.
What would
stuff.
be
I
your
mean, you know
guess?
how many freckles are on your face?
What would be your guess as to what these people over 100, what the story is?
Well, I think it's all corruption, and I think honestly,
And the government.
Look, when you call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 6 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, and then you get a wrong answer from them, and then they hang up on you or they tell you to call back. That kind of nonsense. There's such. It's not incompetence that has been the excuse for decades for the lack of professionalism and competency that exists throughout our government at all levels, whether it's the local dog catcher all the way on up. In my book, look, you're in positions so many of the times that these people can't be fired. So why the hell do they care whether or not they're doing a good job, whether they show up on time, whether they have to meet all the types of requirements one would need to meet if you worked for a private company and they made demands and expectations upon you that you had to live up to, or you would be out the door.
That's right.
And people in government, they don't have to follow those rules. They can sit with their feet up, goof off, complain that they don't have to go back into work. Look, if these people go back into work, that's going to stimulate the economy in the cities where their offices reside, is it not?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Restaurants, the lunch business will be back up to, speed and all those kinds of things. All the benefits of business it's derived by people and the activity that they pursue through their activities of daily living. So, I mean, for people I don't even understand, why would you not want our government to be audited?
Because the media have been financed by the USAID. They're part of the corrupt system of taking the taxpayers' money, and they're in a panic. And the last caller, Never Trumper Steve, who thinks he's smarter than Africans. The idea that these government bureaucrats are working in cubicles and live like millionaires, that they believe me. When people win the lottery, they may keep their job at Home Depot for a month, but then they stop coming to work. Okay, there's no way.
Absolutely.
There's no way that they're doing that unless they're making their millions off of their corruption at work. Give me a break.
You're absolutely correct. And honestly, when I listen to you talk to somebody who I'm going to describe this person who was just on as a bleeding heart liberal, they're only liberal with other people's money. When it comes to their own money, their generosity and their compassion for their fellow man ceases to exist in many cases. Not in all cases, but many cases. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the money that the taxpayers have to give to this government to run this government, charity begins in the home. When our streets are no longer laden with people who are drug addicts and the mentally ill and the downtrodden and all those kinds of things, when our infrastructure is fixed, when everything that's wrong in this country is corrected, then and only then do I think we need to be benevolent for the rest of the world, because we've been benevolent for decades. And I don't think that's the answer to America's problems. The answer begins at home, in your own home, doing what's right in your own home, and then you move forward from there. And believe me, I have a very charitable nature, and I do donate money to people who are down and out. But I donate money here in this country.
Well, listen, I gotta run, but you should call more often. You've added a lot. All right, appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. This is JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ, what's up? This is the behind-the-scenes show you're getting while they're putting my dryer in.
There you go. Get the clothes dried.
There's a best of on the radio. The last 2 segments of the show today. I had to step away.
I'm glad we got to keep you out of the local laundromats for your own safety.
Oh my! I'm telling you, Tom Homan needs to take ice to the laundromats. They would do such roundups.
I hope somebody heard that.
You think?
Know what?
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Why do you think I brought it up?
They might not have thought of that. I mean, these guys sometimes, this is the thing about really smart people. Sometimes they miss little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I mean, it's like going to the UN when you go to a laundromat. But it just never Trump or Steve just kind of struck me the wrong way.
He was hysterical.
The story. I mean, listen. I can understand. The story was correct. There was waste and fraud. It just wasn't to Gaza. It was to another country, but it's still waste and fraud. And God bless all the people in Mozambique. But, listen, there are plenty of people, babies and children and adults, vets, are killing themselves.
See, I don't believe there were condoms. I don't believe there were condoms.
Yeah, well,
sent to Mozambique.
Exactly. Half of the stuff that they say.
I mean, how many? Think about it. They're doing a bulk purchase of condoms, and I promise you, they're not the expensive ones. So how many?
If they did do that, Brian, if they did buy condoms, they probably bought them from from a Hunter Biden.
Well,
probably from the Shanghai Hunter Biden condom.
Well,
company,
how many condoms would that buy, and what's the population of Mozambique? Yeah,
Christ,
it's more people than live in the country, by far. I mean, how many condoms? I'd like to know how many condoms per man that would be, in Mozambique.
I think the men would probably die from a heart attack before they got to use.
I mean, what? Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. I mean, they're using. I don't think there were condoms. There was corruption, but he was hysterical.
Very good possibility that there weren't. Very good possibility.
Never Trumper Steve his anger level was far out of proportion to the discussion. It didn't make sense to me.
He thought, it's like he thought he caught a grizzly bear with that one, and he got like a stuffed toy, for a 1-year-old. There's not, his argument was so not, it was like it's like a freaking balloon without any air in it. It was nothing. It was zero, because the corruption was there. I don't care what country it went to. When I see people in East Tennessee and in North Carolina, and name the southeastern state that are suffering, when I see the disaster in California, and I mean, pick a Democrat-run city. I mean, you talk about the S-holes that Trump used to talk. We've got crap cities where it's just it's a disaster, and we're finally cleaning it up. And DOGE all they're doing is they're bookkeepers with some really smart people with some advanced sniffer software. I mean, it's a slow boil sort of for these people. They're going down the drain. So they're getting caught. The people who say you can't run the country like a business are the people who don't want to get caught. Because if you run it like a business, like we're doing right now, you catch all these damn people, and we can get back to not having $30+ trillion in debt, and millionaires out of people that were making 40, 50, maybe $100 grand. They become somebody in the house, and all of a sudden they're worth $20 million.
Yeah.
I mean, for what? They're getting.
Well, that's how they found some of those spies that were spying for the Soviet Union and the federal government. They were buying fancy clothes and fancy cars, and fancy houses. Yeah. That's how they caught spies in the past.
Yeah, if the revenue doesn't add up to the assets, there's something fishy. And believe me, it doesn't take. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to catch these people.
And these government jobs, he's not talking about members of Congress. He's talking about people in the bureaucracy. These are terribly boring jobs. If people are millionaires, they don't work in those types of jobs, right? So there's no way. Yeah. The only way they keep those jobs is because that's how the corruption keeps going. Okay, well listen.
Okay, all right, buddy, you gotta go.
All right, take care. Yeah, I gotta go. Okay, so the last few minutes was not on the radio, a little behind the scenes, guys, because they're putting my dryer in. But I got to go back out there in a moment to help them because I had to let them in and clear the area. But the place where the old dryer went the new dryer won't fit. So I got to go out there and move things around. I tell you, my option was to take the day off and not do the show at all, or do the show as long as I could until they got here. So I elected to do as much of the show as I could. I was hoping, because the window they gave me was from 7 a.m. to 11, so I was hoping they wouldn't get here till after 9, but they got here at 8:35, so I had to go for a while. But I think it was the right option to do the show as long as I could. All right, well, listen, guys, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you later on the next stream. I probably will have a new podcast today, so keep an eye out for it, all right? Take care.